Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, episode number 167, presented by Hair Club 2022.
Hair Club, man,
Happy New Year to everybody out there. I have gotten off to a great start already this year.
Well, you're late today, and it pisses me the fuck off.
Hey, listen, when you forget
I don't like when people are late.
You ever
Andy.
forget your phone before?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't leave anywhere without my goddamn wallet and my phone. I don't go anywhere.
I'm hitting all the buttons in the Volvo
vape pen.
XC90 Racing Edition.
Oh, cool.
Racing Series.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that my
people
car...
People are like, wow, you got a fucking Volvo. It's sick.
XC90
sick.
Third Row Racing Edition. Did you know that it was the Racing Series? Like, did you honestly know that?
Like, it's not like I'm even looking at it right now because
black rims.
I know where you park because I'm staring out the fucking window.
Very, very attractive car.
It's actually pretty damn cool looking, but it's not at a level where
Cam,
I would
when
brag
I'm at
to the
red
folk,
lights.
No one even looks at you. Get out of here.
I mean, they just turn.
They're gonna look at you like, is it a chick? Nope, no, it's a dude in a Volvo.
Are there any kids in the car?
You know, with car seats in the back. Like, oh, look at this guy. He's cool. No one's looking at you, and that's fine. But it is a comfortable car. It scoots around a little bit. It ain't bad. Mm-hmm. It's just normal.
Yeah.
But I don't brag about my truck. I don't brag about shit that's not cool.
It's at the red light, people do roll the windows down just to ask if it's a racing series. And the car had to quarantine actually ever since you got in there.
Like
when you tried
Excuse me, sir.
You tried to give me COVID.
Is that what I think it is? Is that a Volvo? Oh my God! Look, honey. He's driving a Volvo.
Oh, my God.
No one's doing that.
You ever play outdoors in minus? No. Not in like Eureka. I'm talking like
Eureka.
minus 13.
Yeah, in Albany we had a couple days.
An outdoor game?
No, in Albany, my buddy Rod Pelly, little shout out, Roddy Pelly, awesomest cat in the world. I love you. He was our captain in Albany. Retired a couple years ago, but he had a cool place in Albany right on the lake, and it was so fucking cold up there. Oh, my God. You're just in that zone where you get shit on with snow. You get freezing cold temperatures. North part of New York State. I didn't mind the town. The outskirts are beautiful, but we skated a couple times, man. It was goddamn freezing.
Yeah.
But, man, you get grooving. It's not about the dudes. The dudes are fine. Vladdy looks so cool in the national. Look, Winter Classic national anthems are the coolest thing going, by the way. Everybody's freezing their ass off. Vladdy's hair is like curled over, stuck to the side, frozen. You know, Ryan O'Reilly looked badass with his beard. Shit flying around. It's just the coolest moment in the whole game, in my opinion. I know I'm rambling right now. The
national anthem's the coolest moment. I mean, it's very cool.
It is. Where they show the breath. You could see everybody. Yeah, it just was cool.
Listen,
you don't know. You just don't know. You played in alumni games, and that's it.
Vladdy looked like...
He looked awesome.
Straight out of Novosibirsk. Dude.
Did you see his hair? There's this like one clip.
Hair.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
The breath just screams
so
Russia.
Cool.
Like if you've never been to Russia,
there it is.
You went to Russia if Vladdy was standing next to you that night.
There it is. He looked like he was playing in Siberia.
He's like, I'm not cold. He wanted to stay afterwards.
Dude.
They're taking pictures. All the Russians, everybody's off the ice except the Russians.
The Russians don't
are taking photos.
They're like, hey, have you seen the Sopranos episode where they get lost in the woods and the crazy Russian from the KGB, blah, 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 goes out and he's like, you think this is cold? You think this is cold? And he lives for those Russians, man, growing up in that environment, they don't care.
I remember him telling me years ago when he first came in the league, we did I did like a sit down feature with him and his girlfriend at the time, who's now his wife, at their house, dude. And they were like young little teenagers, hardly knew the language.
I actually remember that.
Hardly knew the language. And, he would talk about stories about being outside every single day, playing outside, shooting pucks with his grandfather until he had blisters on his hands the size of nickels. Now, you've never had that. I mean, maybe in wrestling practice, maybe you got a blister, but you've never had a blister.
My hands didn't take a beating.
Not from shooting pucks.
No, you writing notes down. Your hands are beat up. Writing notes down.
What's wrong with your hand? Well, I had a long press conference today.
Well, I got to write these notes down and ask questions.
But in that environment, Ken, you know that you grew up in Russia, man. It's just it's something completely different.
And he was I remember his dad I think his dad drove him to Moscow, but he didn't grow up in the hardcore like Evgeny Malkin did.
Dude, he did Novosibirsk. That's like Siberia.
Where's Siberia?
Siberia.
I thought Vladdy was Wasn't far away from either St. Petersburg or Moscow.
His dad coached in these different spots.
Or maybe that was
Maybe
Kovalchuk.
He played there.
I don't know. I could be wrong on that.
You're getting your
Sorry,
Russian
Andy.
trivia completely confused.
And as I should. But I know
this guy grew up hardcore, dude, middle of nowhere.
Like Evgeny Malkin grew up in like Medisk, which is like if you look up where Evgeny Malkin's from and you look, it looks like it's from a hardcore movie in I don't know, in the future of like we're just smokestacks everywhere. It's hardcore.
It's very gray. It's very cold.
Gross.
Very cold.
Yeah, hardcore.
We had a couple guys on like that. We had Kovalchuk, not Kovalchuk, Kovalev. Some of these guys, man.
Oh, maybe it's Kovalev.
Yeah, they came from like
Hardcoreville. Yeah.
Darius Kasparaitis.
Yeah, man.
Not really from Russia, but still.
Yeah, but it's like being like from Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan.
Well, just so you know, dude, I am from Buffalo. Like, that's where I come from
There's
originally.
Nothing cool where you're from. There's nothing cool where you drive.
Well, it's very cold there. It's very cold there, so you get used to the cold weather.
It is cold
I used to go to games, Buffalo Bills games, when I was a young kid, dude, outdoors on a Sunday.
Well, you could be miserable all you want. I ain't going outside, okay?
Would you want to go to one of these games? Listen, I talked to some people that went to the game. Because I didn't go. We pulled the plug on it kind of last minute.
Yeah, you did, you pussy.
Well, dude, minus 13 with little kids. People were telling me, dude, your kids would have never lasted in that cold. They wouldn't have lasted.
Oh, God.
People are like, it was the coldest they've ever been in their entire life. Now, there was some criticism from the Minneapolis media that people were leaving the game early. I'm like, well, no shit, dude. It's minus 13. They're cold as hell.
You can only do so much.
I know.
You can't even drink a beer.
No.
And look, I remember I got hurt in Jersey, and my buddy took me to the Giants game and watched the Giants game, and I was so fucking miserable. I couldn't drink. I couldn't get warm. I'm like this, like, I
hate being cold,
I go,
man.
Get me. No shit.
Yeah, I hate
Hey, look, global warming happens. Like, okay, look, things like flourish when it gets warm. When shit freezes, everything dies. Yeah. It's fucking god awful.
So people may have left. Plus, maybe the score had something to do with it because Minnesota was getting, They were getting crushed.
They looked bad. They didn't look good.
Kind of looked like an all-star game the first period. Like, not a whole lot of hitting. No
hitting. Not one hit.
One. Like, it was just kind of like a shinny game in the first period. And then it picked up into real hockey, I thought. Especially in the third period, man. When Minnesota really decided they wanted to make a push, it
wasn't a great game.
No.
It was great if you're a Blues fan because there's some badass goals. Kyrou and the guys, Skynfire, getting some accolades there, breaking records and whatnot. But no, it was a fucking alumni skate. It was a high-paced,
high-paced.
It was a high, they didn't block shots. It was a high-paced alumni skate.
That one dude did.
Somebody
from Minnesota,
did.
Goudreau.
You know who looked good?
He went down and tried to block a shot, dude, killing that penalty.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but
slid.
Andy, there was not
He's
much,
lucky today.
but there's not much of that going on.
No, there wasn't.
Your mindset changes.
I wouldn't either.
I know. Yeah. Well, sometimes you're forcing it. Sometimes it's like, sometimes you just don't take that extra step. Sometimes guys don't flamingo.
Yeah, but when
anymore.
it's minus 13, can you? If you're a coach, could you yell at a player for not blocking, getting out there and blocking a
100%
shot?
100% could.
Okay.
100% could.
Feel like it's minus 13 now.
No, you don't. It's a game, dude.
It is a game.
It's a fucking game. It's business. No, Ruby's like, block that fucking shot. No, they were just passing the puck around. I don't know.
Listen, it's one of those games, if you're watching at home, you said it, you probably said to the people you're watching with, man, we should have gone. And if you're there, people are saying to themselves, we should have stayed home.
Great point, Andy. 100%.
That's what it comes down to.
It's just a great point. Because what do you do after that game? Like, where's everybody going? Is there a cool setup? Like, I think Minneapolis, St. Paul, like, it's a cool area.
Yeah, but you're frozen.
You're fucking, get me inside. Like, where do you go? So you have to go to your cart and you warm that goddamn car up.
Oh, my God. The walk to the car.
And how many cars didn't start? Or how much?
I know.
But, like, all the fans from St. Louis, what do you do? Mm-hmm. What do you do after that?
Well, honestly, not just to bring it back to the Volvo, but I have an app in my car that I can start the car from.
That's kind of cool.
No, so, so I would just start the car.
A lot of people have
from
that.
inside the stadium.
It's not like a Volvo being cool, but I want to know, all y'all Blues fans, what'd you guys do when that fucking game's over? And you're like, okay, use your car there? I guess you are. Maybe some flew.
Minneapolis, they don't steal cars and stuff like that.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. Very safe city.
Andy, their crime rate went up fucking 300%. You're crazy
after the craziness in the summer.
That's what's going on now. Andy, don't even start.
It's
don't talk shit.
It's a very safe place.
they're fucking crime riddled, dude. It is now, but it's a beautiful place. Mm-hmm. But what do you do for transportation? Where'd you guys go? Did you find a warm bar? Did you have to sit outside going in somewhere? Like I was curious about that. I don't know. It's not a big high tech.
People who were there said they were absolutely miserable, but they're glad that they did it.
Look,
you know what I mean?
I ain't got no kids. I love the Blues, but I sat next to my lovely fire. Kate made me some cookies. I fucking kicked my feet up with the lovely puppies, and I fucking chilled and watched that game and watch the national anthem and I don't know. I just had a good time sitting in my lovely living room, Andy. That's what I did. That's what
you said to me before the game. You said it's cool for the players.
It's cool for the players. Dude, if the players are miserable, I don't give a shit. Yeah. It's cool. Like the cameras on them, the breath coming in.
And you can tell they're loving it.
They're loving it.
They're having the best
time. We don't
man.
give a fuck.
Yeah.
We'll suck up anything. And they did, dude. Yeah. And they're cruising around doing their thing. The ice was probably shit, and I'll explain that too. The ice, when it gets too cold, they gets chippy real bad. Not slushy, but it gets so cold to where if you turn, a sharp turn on those fucking 3/8 or whatever, you cut that ice up.
That's why guys usually have a hard time handling the puck. Why it was so impressive some guys were.
That's what I'm saying. And there's like big chips in the ice, meaning if you like skate on that mug, you're rolling your ankle. Like it's nasty. It's bad when it's hot when the sun's on it because it gets slushy. Yeah. But it's bad when it's really cold too. So anyway, the boys don't give a shit. They fucking loved it. It's badass. Sometimes you have the Ryan O'Reilly looks so goddamn cool. They look cool with their little beach unis on. Oh, Colton Parayko had like
he's wearing like a baseball uniform.
It's not
he's like, I'm going to Target Field, so I'm going to wear my baseball uniform.
Okay, all right, let him do that because he likes the boy. Colton. Here's what I want you to have
the group chat. Cam was beachwear.
Okay, Colton, listen, we know you love the Cardinals, but like we got to have you be like a little bit of a sex appeal. Take your goddamn shirt off. You got big pecs. You look good. You look like a Terminator. That's sexy. Take your damn shirt off. And just like Ryan O'Reilly had his chest, like, that looks good. They all the girls on Facebook, like, oh, God, I love you. Look sexy,
Women want to see that.
Women want it, dude.
Colton's single, too.
Dude, get on with yourself, Colton.
Most eligible in St. Louis.
Jeez, you think the women are going to on Facebook like, I'm going to skip this? Yeah, right.
Well, maybe he's got the Wainwright shirt.
When the Wainwright, they're like, oh no, it's not like you show off your body,
but
bruh.
I love it. Bennington man goes out there and gets that Versace shirt.
What's up? Fuck yeah, that's what you do.
I put that on my Instagram. If you want to follow me, it's at Real Strick Nasty. If you want to follow me, but it's $1,200. $1,200 for that. Yeah, you might. $1,200 for that Versace shirt. Would you spend that much money on a shirt like that?
If I had coin, goddamn right, for something like that. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Dude, that's what you do. Look, when you're in these situations like
you gotta get an outfit for the yes.
I'd buy the fucking shit kicking glasses. I'd look badass, sexy too.
Yeah,
sex appeal. I'd have a shirt on, but I wouldn't button up. Hell nah. Show off the abs.
He was wearing some like $1,000 slippers.
I'd have some tight ass shorts on that are just skin tight. This look cool. I don't know.
Do you want to know what I would wear? Or?
I mean, not really.
Well, actually, you know what?
Let me ask the fans. Hey guys, you want to know what Andy would wear? I didn't hear anything.
Listen, I wish more players participated in it though. But I think it's cool when teams do this.
Yeah.
It kind of brings them together. It just gives them a little bit of swagger. I like that.
Yeah. Or they could have got their ass kicked.
They could have.
And then be like, oh,
but they didn't.
They didn't.
Like, because nobody's kicking their ass right now, honestly. Dude, they are so good. Like, the St. Louis Blues are so good. Now,
very good.
There were other games going on at the same time. Like, was that an issue for you or no?
Well, it wasn't an issue for me, but it was an issue probably for a lot of Canadian folk. They were watching Ottawa and Toronto, and Toronto's kicking their ass anyway, but it's like, Austin Matthews is playing. He's a big deal. It's a big market.
But if you're the NHL, do you want to schedule games going up against your signature event?
I tell you that, no, I don't. And I don't get that. And another thing is, like, I want it during the day.
Yeah.
I don't want it at night. It did
looks
look
cool at night.
It looked cool at night, but I want that sun.
Yeah.
You want I don't know. I want it at 2:00 in the afternoon. We're waiting all goddamn day for it. Like, and then by 6, I'm like, I'm going to bed.
Here's the deal, though. It's like, you did have Minnesota and St. Louis. That's not the biggest draw for people outside of those markets, right? It's a big deal for the teams in those for those individual markets. But like for team, if you're in New York or Philly, you may not like be, it's like Columbus is going to get a game soon. Carolina is going to get a game soon. Like that's not going to be the most. When those two teams are involved, it's not going to create that much noise outside of that market.
It's not.
It's like St. Louis and Carolina make the Stanley Cup final this year.
And if you want to,
which could happen.
If you do an alumni game, though, you could have had some of those Dallas Stars guys up. And this is me selfishly saying that too, because I want to play in that mug. And usually I would have been probably picked for that because it's a road, and Greta ain't danging it. Adam Oates ain't coming, there's going to be a hand-picked guys, just like what Chicago did coming down. And you could just sell that bad boy up, make even more money, this, that, and the other. But they had to put that thing on. It was cool. All the lumber, just people in Minnesota, all the kids skating around. But again.
It's very hockey.
But again, if I'm a fan, that rink is far away. And basically you're sitting there cold and your beer's frozen and you have to watch the Jumbotron. There's no history. Is there history in that building?
Well, that's why I like it when they have iconic venues. You know what I'm saying?
You brought that up.
I'm okay being really cold in Lambeau Field. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not either.
Well, I'm not. But at least you're in Lambeau Field.
You're not either.
But Target Field, I'd
Field.
rather be warm than if you're at Yankee Stadium or something like that.
Screw Lambeau Field, too.
Fenway Park.
I don't want to be cold anywhere. I can't do anything when I'm cold. I can't enjoy myself when I'm cold. There's ways to enjoy yourself when you're hot.
The big house looked cool. It was very cold. It was 13 degrees in that game, Detroit-Toronto. Remember that game?
Yeah, and there's
Bozak scores in the shootout.
Yeah, that's
there's
cool.
hundreds of thousands of people there.
I just can't. I'm not. You good old Canadian folk up there are shaking your head at me, and I love all y'all. You know that. But I'm not as tough as you when it comes to that stuff. I can't right now. I'm such a princess. I ain't going and sitting outside I'm having fun.
Let's go.
I'm a sports fan. No, I'm not. No, I'm a chill fan. I fucking chill. I mean, you work and you chill. That's what you do. I can't do that.
The pictures that you're posting, okay, it looks very nice. Like
Did you see my buffalo?
No, I didn't see the buffalo.
You didn't see the buffalo?
Oh, I did see the buffalo. Dude, you act like
we love animals.
These videos you're posting.
We love animals.
Cam acts like he's running for Congress and all, and all the videos. He's like, okay, everybody, we're live out here with the buffalo.
I got a buffalo, Bobby.
Or he's reporting live on the scene for the local news. It's like, okay, everybody, love y'all. Bye.
You want to be normal? Am I supposed to be normal?
Where are you?
Right down the road.
I've been to that place.
It's just right down. It's called Bassett Road. So St. Albans, the beautiful suburbs I live in. It's just another street.
Is it like
it's
a
right
park,
there.
Lone Elk
I
Park?
could walk right there. No, it's a mile away from my house.
Oh.
It's just a guy that owns
wild bison. Or they?
Yeah, the guy just hands a bunch of bison.
Yeah, they're cool looking animals, man.
Yeah, those are tiny one, but it's still Tatanka.
There's a place you can drive, and there's a bunch of wild ones.
That's way the hell out of the way. This is a farmer that owns land right by our house.
Oh.
It
sounds cool,
dude. This is really cool.
He wants to have a lot.
What's your neighbors like?
No,
what are your neighbors like?
I think it's cool next to your house, but
you
I don't
have
know
a
about
highway.
this guy owning a bunch of bison.
Highway 40 is your neighbor, and the Shack restaurant. That's your neighbor. I got wildlife, dude. That's why I do a little thing. I'm like, what's up? I'm giving you an update.
But I don't know if those are wildlife.
I was on a side by side too.
Were you?
Yeah, my buddy. We were cruising around on a side by side.
Yeah. I'm looking into those.
They're
also.
bad at you. Dude. You
the
can't,
Raptor.
They're cool, man.
You know what the Raptor is?
You're gonna have to get. It's gonna cost you 20.
I don't know.
For
That's what the Sansone boys when they came to my house in the Raptor. I ran into them the other day again. I'm like, dude, what kind of?
They got Polaris. They got all kinds of cool stuff.
They know all about the side by sides.
I don't think you're there yet. You don't have a trailer. You don't have anything to hold that thing with, Andy. And your subdivision's gonna be like, what are you doing here? Drive your Volvo.
Well.
That's like and your wife's gonna be like, and honestly, if you say you're gonna get a side by side. If I'm evaluating you, that's 50th on your list of things to get, right?
That I need to get?
Yeah, 50th. You don't even have a truck yet to haul that fucking thing.
It's very cold here, actually. We had a outdoor skate last night, which was kind of cool.
How was it?
With the kids. Dude, it's great. I love skating outdoors.
Man.
The sound of the skates on the ice is different outdoors.
Dude.
It has a crispness to it.
It has a...
Shh. You know what I'm saying? You know what that sound is?
No, Andy, tell me as a hockey player.
When I'm digging in there deep, okay, into the ice, it just sounds good. So we had a little skate last night.
Listen, nothing you do sounds good on the ice.
Hey, these NHL players are like, we should retire because we want to play in the Olympics so bad. We're going to retire, and then we'll come back, and then our teams will sign us back.
Go to China. Get out of here. Be stupid. Just fucking play. Make up for the games. It's a fucked up year. You can't go to fucking China. Doesn't matter. Just play the goddamn game. Stop being tough. Go fucking play. God damn. Well, I'm going to retire. I'm going to China.
And then go through waivers and then come back and sign.
So don't
I'm sure the NHL is going to let you do that.
Yeah, look, they already got enough on their plate, and they're trying to juggle so many goddamn things. Half the people are pissed. Half the people are pissed at this. Like, no, you're not going to do that. Just go play for your fucking team.
Is it just me, though? I didn't hear a lot of this before they officially canceled the Olympics. Like, the rumors of them canceling the Olympics started like a few weeks prior to them actually officially doing it. We talked about it on here like 2 weeks beforehand, and I didn't hear a whole lot of. I heard players being like, "I don't know, man. That 5-week quarantine, that sounds a little excessive. That's aggressive. I don't know if I could do that. I got a family." I didn't hear all these guys like flipping out about wanting to go so bad, and then they officially cancel it, and that's when they come. Like, why didn't they do that beforehand?
Andy, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I'm like, oh, no one's like, oh, hip hip hooray, we're going to China. And then bullshit could happen, and we were stuck in our thing. Like, it's look, we're in the USA on your jersey. Don't get me wrong, baby. I'm USA through and through. But to go to China and have to fucking play in front of nobody again, by the way, they're going to be fans.
They're not going to have any fans there?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Did the Chinese team make the Olympics?
Andy,
I know they were working.
Andy,
I know you don't have an answer to that?
I just don't know. Probably not.
And who's Marchand going to play with? Like,
who are you going to play with yourself? I mean, come on.
You want to go that bad? Like, you'll be like one of like
with Russia,
what, 2 or 3 players to go. I
or
mean,
Czechia.
It's just kind of a little Czechia.
Czechia.
Well, I don't know why they call it that. There could be
nerdy.
a reason for that.
Maybe actually. Hey, I don't know. Big Walt was chirping that today.
What, Czechia?
Czechia.
That's so funny. Well, I mean, seriously, it's like if you have even the World Juniors and all that. Like, here's what I would do. I would privatize. I think the CHL needs to come together, all 3 leagues, and privatize a international tournament for under 20 players. Decide where you want to put it, whatever, and get out of the umbrella of the IIHF and all these other organizations that like lead to a great tournament being canceled and being embarrassed at the same time.
It was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing, dude.
And, you know.
The World Cup, the NHL does that with the World Cup. You know what I mean? It's like they privatize. Like, okay, we'll have our own tournament.
Yeah.
Although they have like crazy teams in there.
Well, they
like
just implemented
the young stars.
They implemented the guidelines that just were just not feasible for anything.
Well, none of it made sense. It's like, okay, if you test positive, you have to quarantine, and so does your roommate. Well, why do they have roommates?
I know.
And they put both goalies together? It's like, what is going on here? It's like the dumbest thing I've ever seen. They didn't think this through, man.
They didn't. And they didn't know that whatever the fuck came through. And look, Canada's Canada, too. They're in a weird jam. We love all you guys up there.
Now Toronto's
all fucked. Quebec's fucked up.
I know.
Meanwhile, we're down here doing Winter Classics in front of fucking...
I know.
It's just
over 100,000 people at like a bowl game.
Somebody chimed in on my show today. They go, dude, in Niagara Falls, in the U.S. side, where you're from, kind of,
right around there. Yeah.
You could look over. There's no. It's like South Korea, North Korea. Where South Korea, you look at the Google Map at night, look at all the lights going on over there, and then you look at North Korea. There's nothing at night, right? It's just the same thing in Canada. It's like, well, this Maricron can't go across the fucking waterfall.
I don't know.
It ain't going this way. I'm the fuck you, because I feel bad for all you guys up there, and it just shows you like what's the difference? Is it more effective in Canada? Because of the water, the Hudson River, I believe that is right there.
Lake Erie.
And it goes on. I don't know what does. It doesn't matter. The point is
Lake Niagara.
Niagara. That's what it is. It's Niagara River.
Yeah, there's a bunch of lakes around.
But the point is that they're looking over there. It's nothing. There's no lights on. Meanwhile, I'm having champagne on the other side. Get out of here,
sense.
Andy.
I know.
These guys are trying to like businesses up there, like trying to do anything. They can't do shit.
I know. They had over 100,000 people at the Cowboys game.
It's psycho.
But you can't even have games in Canada right now.
Come over to the Promised Land.
Yeah.
You can't. It takes you 10 years to get U.S. citizenship.
Is that how long it takes?
Fuck, I think it takes a shit.
I'm not so sure. We'll have somebody fact check
ask
that.
Jamie Rivers on that. I think it
took him 10 years.
Man, a long time. Wow. Guys, you could fact check me on that. Anything you fact check me on, dudes. We'll throw it in the comments. We'll talk about it. We love hearing from you guys. Doesn't matter. I know there's people from everywhere listening and stuff like that, but it is bizarre, Andy. It is, man. Literally looking over a river and it's shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck on. I don't know. You got to live with it.
No, we think about the kids, dude. All of them. You know, it's not just
they're killing kids' dreams one at a time. They're clinging in Quebec now. They're taking the nets, the outdoor rinks, and fucking putting a panel on them so you can't
the padlock.
You can't even go outside and do anything. what these kids are. What the fuck what are we doing?
I don't know.
Dude, Andy, I don't know, man.
I didn't know Canada was really like that.
Yeah, they are.
I'm kind of surprised that it's gotten that bad.
It's just everything changes.
But I feel like all the Canadians who listen to listen. I don't try to like tell them how to think and all that type of stuff because I'm not there, so I don't know what's going on.
We have to give our opinion.
It just seems very excessive, and I do feel bad. Hey, listen, and Canadians, tell us if we shouldn't feel bad for you. Like if we have no reason to feel bad for you, everything's all good, then just tell us. And
that's what we.
And I won't, but we do. We're thinking about all you guys.
Yeah, we're an open book, and no one's telling anybody, but they want to hear what the fuck we have to say. That's why they listen. Yeah. So here's what I have to say. It is what it is. I know.
But some people are like, it's really bad. We need to be locked down.
Though?
I don't know.
The cases are abundant, but what does it mean though?
The healthcare workers, they don't have enough healthy healthcare workers.
Hey, I'll tell you what. The main thing you need to do is stay in shape. If you really crunch the numbers, it's obese.
Apparently, Russians do they get COVID too? I don't know if they do or not. Like Barbashev did. I was very shocked.
Those guys are mutants.
They're like machines.
Those guys live on. I don't know.
I don't know. But
whatever.
I mean, I don't think Tarasenko.
What else is going on?
I don't think he's ever had the COVID. The Oilers. A couple things, and we'll get into the best of. This is part 2.
Terrible.
Are we going to have a part 3 also, or
no,
a part 4?
Because we got some guests coming up.
I know we got some really good guests coming up. So for people who listen, some people just came onto the podcast 6 months ago, 6 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't know. Not everybody's been listening since all these aired, so it's a good opportunity for people who won't go back and listen to a full interview to hear some of the highlights from some of these great interviews we've had. So we don't want to waste them either at the same time.
Hell no, it's gold.
So that's why we do the intro and everything. So tell all your friends, we still do an intro. It's not like, that's not like a best of.
No, but we got to do what we got to do. We have too much good shit going on, and we got to throw it at these cats. And we're getting new people every damn day. You guys get the game. We love all ya. All ya.
Okay, so I don't want to upset the Canadians too much, but I will say this. The Edmonton Oilers will not make the playoffs.
Man, Duncan Keith didn't look good the other day.
Well, but I'll leave him alone. He's like a Norris Trophy winner and a 3-time Stanley, and he's older. And it's like, so I'm with you. But the problem is everybody else is so bad.
They're bad
that he's got to play like 26 minutes.
I know. Well,
so they overplay him. Yeah. Well, he's not anything close to what he once was.
They had a rookie the other day come in. God, what's his name?
He played
Russian
2
kid.
minutes.
He got walked by Cairo.
He did.
This like open shimmy shake right at the blue, like something that you would like Yaker would do to you, Andy, or something.
Maybe an NHL defenseman should not allow that to happen to a guy who's standing still.
He went flat-footed there, like just give him a little bit of room, and he just turns his hips on you like fuck you.
And then he's on the ice for another goal.
I know.
And he didn't play again the rest of the game. I felt bad for that kid
because
he's a draft pick of theirs too.
I know. He'll get another chance. Sometimes you get, dude,
228. You don't see that too often.
He's 228 pounds?
No, that's how many minutes he played in the game.
Oh, well, I've been there.
Have you?
I had to fight longer than my minutes I played.
Really?
Yep.
That's
not
amazing.
Funny.
No, I mean, it kind of is. What's the shortest you ever played? Less than a minute?
Well, I mean, when I hit Caberly one time, he didn't play the rest of the game. Like, yeah, I don't know. There were some bad nights. Andy Murray, I think didn't play me one shift one time.
Oh, an entire game?
No, he played me one. But I wanted to go McGrattan. And he was playing with Calgary. And he just wouldn't put me out there. So at home, I got my fucking buddies.
All your buddies are there.
They're all craving. I've been thinking about it all goddamn day. I'm like, let me go. Let's go.
Oh, my God.
And he just sat me. I want to kill him.
You didn't play.
I want to fucking kill him.
Yeah. You didn't play
don't cut that. I shouldn't say kill. That's
oh my God.
Loose because
clip that on.
Because Brody will
put that on Twitter.
I can't
like
have
6
that.
hours from now.
Cam wanted to literally
kill Andy Murray.
Oh my God!
Breaking
can't
news.
Do that, okay? But at the fucking time, I'm looking at him like, God damn. Like, let's go.
Well, I couldn't imagine
like I said, that ages you even thinking
Listen,
about it.
I know how I am personally. I would go crazy. And I think most people
crazy,
would.
Dude.
Most people would.
Like, you just think about it. I dreamt about it. You know what you're doing. I got my fucking shit. Like, let's go.
Could you have gotten the puck out that night? That's the question.
Oh, then I got to go out there and, like, play. And I'm, like, looking at his bench while I'm playing. Like, is he coming? Let's go.
But the Oilers, dude, they've got McDavid. They've got Draisaitl. And, like, I know people like Nugent Hopkins. I've never been a huge fan. Maybe he needs to play elsewhere to be truly appreciated. Like, he doesn't score very many goals. Obviously, gets a lot of assists, plays with good players. He doesn't change the game for being a first overall pick. I like him, good player, not a great player. They gave him a long-term deal, whatever. We'll see how that plays out. But those two guys, man, they just don't have enough help. Like, hockey's the one sport you just can't. Like, you need, like, really good players at the bottom of your roster, man. You can't win without those guys.
It ain't basketball. Dude, you're right. And Draisaitl took the game over a little bit, but even he's taking 2.5-minute shifts, dude.
Oh, I know.
He was taking 2-minute shifts.
He must be like a nightmare to coach. You're like, Leon,
he walked Logie. He walked Logie one time. We love you, Logie Brown and Jeff. We love you. But you got to walk one day. But Logie's been playing great. But he just kind of did the shimmy shake that Kyrou did a little bit, where you walk just like what you see with guys when we're skating with an alumni, where like they'll come in, like Mac will come in, like just
he's so damn good. Though.
Andy McDonald will come down on some of these guys and it's like wait, and just cut in real quick and shoot. Like you just wait them out where they have to skate backwards, and you just get a little bit of separation, and you're already close to the goal because they're so scared of what you're going to do.
Yeah, Cam, I know what that's like. I know.
No, you don't. God, make me fucking choke on my water.
Oh, my God.
Well, you pissed me off.
But those two guys, they have no help. So, again, Edmonton, they have no goalie, they have no defense, and they have no help for their two best players.
So they're doing good.
So they keep losing.
We love you, Edmonton.
And I don't know. So I just have a feeling they may miss the play. Maybe they'll get Marc-Andre Fleury or something like that at the trade deadline. Who knows? Because they need another goaltender.
You heard somewhere?
You see PK Subban again?
That's what that fucking guy.
PK Subban. I mean, this guy keeps putting himself in this situation.
Why you do that?
Dude, I said it after the first time he did it.
Andy, I said it, then you repeated it.
Well, no, I think I may have said, let's go back.
I've been chirping him
Put
quite a
that
bit.
in the best of.
And I got to go up there.
Yeah, well, like, people were like, after the first time, no, it's just he's got a wide stance.
Oh, fuck.
It's like, what are you talking about? Now he keeps doing it over and over. He tried to do it to this guy, and he couldn't.
To Hathaway, who will fight you by the way.
Yeah.
And he turned around and he goes, don't fuck with me like that. Because listen, if you're a player and you're a hockey player, all you guys know that played, well, not you, Andy, but all the guys that really played, no. When you get that feeling, when there's somebody like kind of doing that motion behind you, whether it's really intense or not, like it's happening, and you're like, whoa, like your rabbit ears pop up, like, what the fuck are you doing? You know when the cross checks come in, when you're before they cross, you could feel it. So you guys feel that wide stance leg coming behind you. As a player, you're like, go fuck yourself. That's gutless. And you could tell Hathaway turned right around like, no. Not on me, buddy. I'm not hitting my head off the ice because you're a dumbass and you're not going to get suspended for it or anything. He's doing it. It's getting out of control. I don't know what his goddamn problem is, but he's starting to piss me off, and I know he's pissing a lot of guys off.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody needs to get this.
He's done this over and over and over again.
Go grab him.
It's now become intentional, which we always suspected from the very beginning. This is an intentional act.
It is.
By PK Subban.
Can't help himself.
He can't convince any of us. Otherwise, people who try to defend him can't convince us. This guy knows what he's doing, and it's something that better stop. The league could have gotten control of this a while ago instead of finding his ass. They should have suspended him from the very beginning.
And you know what? Somebody up top in that organization, and I don't know if they have or not, but you need to be like, dude, it looks bad. You're getting bad. Somebody needs to talk to him.
Yeah,
put him on the spot.
All right, Bruce Boudreau. I don't get caught up in coaching changes when teams are good and they. Bruce, there it is. He's like an icon up there.
Yeah, well, when you win, good things
in Vancouver, they're so happy.
Like
I mean, they're celebrating him. What if Jim Rutherford was like? Because here's the deal on the contract. I don't know if this may be like. I mean, universal news. Everybody knows. I have no idea. But from what I was told at the beginning, his contract, he got a 2-year deal, and the second year is a team option. So it was almost like, hey, here's basically a 1-year deal until we find our guy. I don't think they were looking to hire Bruce Boudreau long term, right? Then they bring in Jim Rutherford, who's the GM of the team, and is he stuck now, being forced to give this guy a contract extension, a long term one, because his popularity in the town and they're winning all these games? Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's the guy I would want to give to like a 3 or 4 year deal.
Well, if he keeps winning games, I don't,
or a 2-year deal even.
Well, if he keeps winning games, what do you do?
I mean, we've seen this from Bruce in the past. I like Bruce. He wins a lot in the regular season, and in the postseason, his record has never been very good. For whatever reason that is. I don't know if it's fair or unfair. He's obviously a good coach. He's coached great players, and he's had a lot of success. So I'm not shocked to see this. All I'm saying is I've seen it over and over and over again. I saw Andy Murray he came in, almost took a team to the playoffs. Davis Payne coached so good. He got a 2-year contract extension. Ken Hitchcock took over and won the Jack Adams. Craig Berube takes over and they win the Stanley Cup, dude. So it's like, I've seen this before where teams just all of a sudden they need a new voice.
Well, yeah. Well, if it works, it works. Though.
It does.
So you're forced your hand.
I know.
And then if he doesn't work out and people bullshit, you're like, well, I mean, look at the time.
But let me say,
you put yourself in a decent spot to
you
hire.
see these coaches that sign long-term contract extensions and the team has to fire them. Owners have to eat that salary. I think those days are coming to an end, too.
Though.
Some of these coaches making $5 million, Todd McClellan.
They're making more than
you saw
three-fourths of the team.
The Quinville situation, Elaine Vigneault. Some of these guys that got paid big-time dollars to coach, long-term deals. Like, people are like, oh, how come Craig Berube hasn't been re-signed and all that type of stuff? Like, he will eventually. But I think teams are getting away from paying their coaches that much money and handing out those long-term contracts because no owner wants to, and especially now after the pandemic, revenues are down. What owner out there wants to eat a contract from a head coach? You know what I'm saying? So
I know.
That'll become a new trend. Watch, as you see these coaches get signed, you'll start to see shorter and shorter deals for head coaches. And I don't blame these teams for doing it, even though it sucks for some of the good head coaches out there. Yeah, if you're a really good one, you'll probably still get your deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll still get your long-term deal.
$30 million in college basketball to get fired.
Oh, my God.
I mean, Jesus, Andy.
Let's get to the best stuff. Right. This is part 2, brought to you by Hair Club. Hairclub.com. Go to our landing page, www.hairclub.com/Cam Strick. Register right there. Call them today, 800-279-7878. But again, go to our landing page and register for your free consult or for your consultation right there. You get $250 off your consultation when you do it from our landing page. Hairclub.com/Cam Strick.
God, you've had a rough weekend. Good thing, but in all honesty, guys, call them up, walk in there, get through the damn doors, talk to somebody. It's honestly the easiest thing in the world. I know the difficult part is even getting set up, but once you're set up, you go in there, you ask questions, they'll answer everything. Make sure they give you that that little when they look, they take the little
they massage your head. Is what they do.
Just sit there and do your thing. Do your thing. Mm-hmm. Don't even, and they just show it kind of here you go, Cam. This me. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Can you look at this side of my head and then this side? Oh, I love it.
Who's doing that?
They just
which office do you go to for that?
I'm just
letting you know. Are they doing it at all of them?
I'm just saying, it's quite a lovely experience. But the hard part is walking in that bad boy. Once you get in there, you okay, and then they're gonna explain why the fuck you're losing your hair and you're losing your confidence. Don't let it happen. Call them up.
Confidence is everything.
It is, man. Even with kids.
And they've got solutions for everybody out there. Literally hundreds and hundreds of solutions. Yep. And I mean that when I say it. Hundreds of solutions. So if you're not exactly sure how far in you want to go or exactly what you want to do, they help walk you through it and customize a plan that suits your needs. Yep. And your budget, too. So, again, over 1,200 locations throughout North America. That would be the U.S. and Canada. There's Mexico's in North America, too. I'm not exactly sure if there's any locations down in Mexico. There probably are.
Man, I don't know.
Do you know that answer?
Andy, I don't know. But, come back up to the U.S.
Yeah.
And
just go somewhere in Canada, too, they've got a ton of
Yeah, Canada. Yeah. We don't have that many listeners on in Mexico either. So
we might. I bet you we do, dude.
Well, a handful.
I bet you we got a lot of Mexico
it doesn't matter.
Listeners right now.
Mexican?
Some Mexican listeners?
Mexico listeners?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Mexican.
Tons.
I love Mexico, by the way. I do. I like going down to Cabo and stuff. Oh, yeah. Cabo's cool.
I'm not leaving. I ain't leaving the country for a while.
I know you're not. I know you're not leaving St. Albans.
No, I'm not. Why would I? It's Fantasyville.
Yeah, you do. You're running. Cam running for Congress.
I don't need to run for Congress. I don't need to do a damn thing. I just do a podcast and a radio show, and I chill. I mean, shit.
That's not bad though. That's not
bad.
All right, Hair Club. Again, get your confidence back. Call Hair Club today, 800-279-7878, and let them take care of you. Make sure you tell them we sent you. As well. Thank you very much. CarShield, carshield.com, 800-857-2481. Write that number down. 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM. You're going to save 10% here in 2022. We wish everybody over there at CarShield a Happy New Year, too, man.
Absolutely.
Great people. Happy New Year to all of them. And you never know when something's going to go down. It could be a tailpipe, a muffler, computer, maybe your alternator.
What's the tailpipe going to fall off?
Yeah, you never know. And you better make sure you have that protection from CarShield. So get it today. Use that promo code CAM. You'll save 10%. Again, 800-857-2481 for our friends over at CarShield. And, of course, Dan Bellman, Happy New Year to you, too, man.
Man, I need a new truck.
Yeah. For the new year?
Man, I thought it was going to be nice and, slushy this weekend. Maybe some snow. It didn't do a god dang thing. And I'm kind of glad because I kind of want a bigger, badder ass. I don't know if I could do that. I want a big badass truck, even more badass than what I have now. I got a small engine of mine. I do want a shit kicker, a diesel, maybe a 25 hundo, maybe a 35, probably 25 hundo. I need a new truck, Dan. I'm telling you. Let me know. I want the high country version. I want it all decked out.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe black rims.
High
I need to look good.
They still make those?
Yeah, they're
awesome.
awesome.
Do they still make the high countries? I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
And it's a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram, isn't it?
Yeah. They get GMC. Yeah.
And GMC for sure. Yeah. Buick GMC on one side of the street.
Show me what
Cam's
you got,
also looking at the Enclave, Frost White, Captain
look,
seats.
we joked about it. Those are cool too. Don't get me wrong.
sure.
But I need a shit kick.
Yeah, I understand. Other side of the street, the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. All in Troy, Missouri. Kenny will help you too, dude. You know that. Dale will help you.
Dale.
Happy New Year to the Bellmans. All right, the BBB. You know what that stands for?
Business Bureau.
Better Business Bureau.
BD.
Where do you turn when you're looking for an honest business, Cam?
The BBB, baby.
I go to the BBB, man. Hey, they've been reviewing companies for over 100 years. Reviews for businesses and charities are available 24/7 at bbb.org. And you go to bbb.org, you can find companies you can trust, because a lot of times you go see these reviews and Cams, like they are shady. It's like somebody who works there, the manager.
No shit.
The interns are told, wait, what do you need us to do today? Go do some reviews.
Meanwhile, there's lice and shit on the pillows and stuff.
Oh,
bed bugs and stuff.
Dude, the
BBB's
restaurants
like, we don't play that game.
No.
We don't play that game.
No. And it's free, too. So everything is free at the Better Business Bureau. You just go there. Thousands and thousands and thousands of reviews. Charities, too, because you never know, you don't want, the worst feeling you can possibly have is making a donation, your own hard-earned money, and realizing the charity you just donated to is shady.
See, I like doing that. Andy.
No, you do not like doing that. So
I like bed bugs.
You can get reviews on charities too.
Bed bugs are big in New York City, man.
And it's all been verified and it's accurate. So again, bbb.org. Go there today. 314-645-3300 is the phone number, bbb.org. All right, let's get to the best of with who's our leadoff man here in the part 2.
Who is it?
Brady Tkachuk, man. He came and joined us live. Big boy.
Yeah, big boy.
Had his little holdout, then he came back, put the C on his jersey. Before all of that, he joined us right here on the Cam Strick Podcast. Happy New Year, everybody. Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. You know, nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and you know right off the bat you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now up to the interview. You led the league in fighting majors. Like Cam never even did that, okay?
You sure about
Only
that?
one guy in this room led the league in fighting majors.
Wow.
I did in juniors 3 times.
I probably did too.
And 6
Andy, you haven't led anything in anything.
I mean, so fighting, is the fighting part of it? Like, you enjoy fighting or what?
I like it, yeah. I'd be lying to say if I didn't. It's that feeling that kind of you're above yourself almost. It's such a weird feeling.
An out-of-body experience?
Yeah.
Really? Who's tagged you?
Who's tagged me?
Because it wasn't PK. I saw that fight.
It was, the one guy that tagged me because I wasn't expecting it was Wheeler last year.
Really?
He hit me hard, and I was like, ooh, all right. Just because I remember how it went. I hit. I was waiting. I dropped my gloves right away, and he kind of was shaking it off a little bit, going slower than I expected. So I kind of grabbed him.
This is after Brady or Matthew fought him in the bubble?
No, that was before. And so I let go of him, and he just grabbed me and threw right away before I was even expecting it. So he hit me so hard. I was like, oh my God, I might have to be in the protocol after this one. But went to the box, all good. I was just like, wow, I've never been hit like that before. And then I'll give him credit. That was just because but I'm gonna say I wasn't expecting it. So that's why. Yeah. Not like I was put myself, but that was the only time I've kind of been hit hard. But no, this year, I don't think any of them I probably got hit in the side of the head, top of the head, but not my face.
Did it feel good after you fought PK, by the way? You gave a little loud woo when you got up. Were there fans in the building there or not?
Yep, that was last year, so there's fans there. There's fans there, and it was...
you body slammed PK Subban.
I think everybody... When he played Montreal, Ottawa, big rival, so they didn't like him from then. So every time he had the puck, everybody was booing him. So it's perfect time.
Yeah. Did he do an Instagram post about it afterwards, jumping in the pool or something?
He actually did.
What did he say about it?
It was They had like because they won in overtime that game, and like he posted something with, I think it was the military jacket, like for player of the game, and he said something about it, and I was kind of laughing about it.
Oh, really?
It's kind of nerdy though, right?
How about Trent chirping his ass?
Oh my god!
Oh, Fred St. Louis boy, what's up?
You guys all talk.
I love it.
You still
He's
talk.
an awesome
You talk
guy.
to Trent all the time, right?
Yeah, like we definitely keep in touch. Seeing him.
Kunzi scoring big goals the other night.
Fucking sick.
Sally of the year.
Oh
That's
my
the
god!
best.
Sally of the year.
We pumped him up.
I just couldn't imagine being the other guy, just your bucket falling off. You're like, all right, come on.
Just let it happen.
No,
Good for
I'm
him.
so happy for him. He deserves that.
But the guy he jumped on afterwards.
Yeah, it was just when his bucket came off.
That's
That's just
what
like
you
looking
do.
for
Well,
himself.
they've got 20,000 fans in the building in Nashville. How do you not do
Sold
that?
out.
Hey, Nashville.
They act like it's
Broadway.
12,000.
Nashville. That dude.
Went there before the season.
Boy.
What, Nashville?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
most underrated town.
We might invite
North
you down there for
America.
those fantasy camps eventually here, Andy. Nashville
My
does
game
it
is-
right.
Last time I seen you play is when you got crushed by Chaser.
Oh my God, were you
You
there?
were out there. Oh my
You
god.
were there for that?
That was you guys were getting ready for I think it was the outdoor game. with,
Outdoor game, 2017.
Yeah, because I
Were
remember
you on the ice?
Because my
Yes.
dad was out there. I was like, "This is great." I'm playing with my dad. You get crushed, absolutely crushed.
He had the trifecta.
Okay,
He had the trifecta.
hold on. Before you get to the trifecta,
Okay. Go.
because Chaser listens to every single one.
Yeah, I know.
That was so dirty. Like I said, like he would have gotten easy 2 games for that.
Yeah, no,
Elbow was high.
elbow was high.
Stuck your ass, dude.
I was so pumped.
Dude, did you see what Andy?
That's where I needed
you see what
Matthew.
Andy did? And he's like this. Ugh, what?
No, I
I'm
came after
embarrassed.
him.
You were pissed.
I was-
He
you
were pissed.
went to the bench. Chaser comes off, and we're all on the bench.
Because
And
this is at Chesterfield.
was.
And your mother fucking him.
Oh, I was fucking pissed.
Andy beelines it, and we're like laughing, and all of a sudden we're like, "Oh shit!" And Chaser goes, "What the fuck you?" And Andy comes and goes, and he stops. He goes, "Fuck all you."
Hey, no, I slammed my stick on the board.
That's right.
See, whenever we play the charity
Oh,
games, whatever,
gosh.
Matthew's always on my line whenever he plays in these games.
Didn't he play with you and
Tom Stillman?
yeah.
Yes,
he talks about it all the time.
Oh my God, he's like feeding passes left and right.
We had all these
How many
guys.
goals did
Okay.
you score?
In that game, I think 3 or 4, maybe 5.
You?
Yes, in that game.
Fuck.
Okay,
outta
no. Now tell him about the other ones though. You said trifecta because he doesn't even
here.
know.
Oh, you didn't see the Bobby Plager one? That was on FS. Dude, they had a charity event, and Andy's the first. He's the first like beat writer that gets to play. Because I'll give Andy credit. He's the only writer and
I'm
blogger.
not a writer.
Yeah, you are. You used to be a fucking writer, so you're a writer that plays hockey. And Andy goes out there, and Bobby knew that. And Bobby stuck you so goddamn hard with a hip check. It was his helmet comes off. He's like,
Helmet up, chin strap around my neck.
He's like, "What am I doing?" What? And Bobby's staring down, like, sit the fuck down." And then that happened, and then Chaser sticks him. And then I have to do something. So I stuck him there. We have video of this too. And I actually concussed him.
Oh my God.
It was actually horrible, to be honest with you. And I do apologize.
My
for that.
wife had to fucking like drive me to work.
I just wanted to like Chaser's out there and he's like, you know how I get with
Yeah.
Chaser's with me. You know how it is. Like,
Yeah.
And then Andy comes up the wall with his fucking head down, of course. I'm just going to steal him off. And I see, and he has no shoulder pads on, like a dumb shit. He doesn't wear shoulder pads. He doesn't have any shoulders, but he doesn't wear shoulder pads. And so I just kind of rub him out, and he hits his head off the glass so goddamn hard. Then he stops and beelines it to me and fucking I go, "Whoa, what?" And he's like, "Oh." And
I lose it.
he's like this. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" I go, "Get off of me." I go, "I'm sorry." He's like, "I don't know what to do." I'm like, "Sorry about that." And he was fucked up for 3 weeks, and he's
Oh my
joking.
God.
I apologize.
My head hit the glass so hard.
Dude, he can't brace himself. He's like a child. You just gotta let him have the puck. Holy fuck! I felt horrible after that.
Listen, my head. I mean, I didn't know where I was. You mentioned out of body experience. That's what happens.
Let me ask you this too: like when you go, because I did this too. Like you have your hockey buddies on the team, but I always met people outside of the game, dude. Like I'd go out and meet people that own this or did that or whatever. Not like Aaron Voros style where you're fucking doing business every goddamn second. No, but just like
Dating
me.
Lindsay Lohan.
Like, fucking,
Wait.
like
Aaron
business.
Voros, did he play for the Rangers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the funniest story, I think, about him.
Give it to us.
right.
We just had him on. He
Yeah.
was hilarious.
I think, so he played in the Rangers for Torts, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the funniest story I have ever heard in my life. I guess he wasn't playing, and just they had a team meeting in the locker room, and Torts is like, all right, like we're struggling right now, but like we've got guys here that are working their balls off, that they're doing everything right. Like Voros, he's doing everything right, playing so hard, he's just waiting his turn to play. Just he's been a great teammate to everybody. Where is he? And he looks at Torts. He's like, I'm right here. Gives him the guns.
Oh, Jesus.
And Torts is like, did you just give me the guns? What the fuck are you doing? You're slow. You're bad. You can't make a play. You're shit. Don't ever give me the guns. Starts ripping them. And somebody told me that. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
It's called bipolar, is what that is as a coach.
Like he was just pumped. He was just
like Fonzie.
He's like, Torts, I'm right here. Like Torts is like, oh, so pumped.
You.
And he's like, you're done. And then I guess he got traded or sent down the next day. Never played.
We got to text his ass out. He'll have like an hour-long rebuttal for that one.
That was the big boy, Brady Tkachuk. He said he was looking forward to the contract negotiations, thought it'd be cool. I don't know. Ottawa, they got it done. I don't know what's going on in Ottawa either.
Yeah, Yeah, he's kicking ass, though.
But he is.
Fucking awesome.
He is. Looks good with that C on his jersey, too. All right, he's a local legend. From there, we went to Dougie Gilmour, man, who, again, he's a legend everywhere. This guy played his heart out. Truly an iconic figure. Would you say that in Toronto?
Damn right he is.
Yeah, he's for what he did in 1993 and beyond. Great player, man. One of my favorite players growing up as well. We loved having the Hall of Famer Doug Gilmour join us right here on the Cam Strick Podcast.
I can tell a story about Wendell Clark. I'll get off of Calgary for a second, but we're playing 94 playoffs, and I'm playing against Gino Ojic all the time, meaning he's in my face every second.
We had him on the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, we had Wendell on, too.
We had Wendell on, too. We have everybody.
Yeah. So, but I had Gino in Montreal. So again, great guy, but I'll never forget in the playoffs, Wendell goes up to Pavel Bure, says, you touch Gilmour, Gino. No, sorry. Wendell goes up to Pavel Bure, says, if Gino touches Doug Gilmour one more time, I'm going to knock you out.
Oh.
And Gino did not touch me the rest of the series.
He loved it.
So, but guys, Calgary, it was such a blessing to win a cup. 20 years I played, I only won one cup, and so that's how hard that cup thing is. And to be with the guys that from Calgary was totally amazing, and then things change after that.
Yeah.
Then I got the Toronto.
Yeah, well, we're gonna that, but I want to ask you about that cup run though, and playing against '99 and how checking Wayne Gretzky, and I know how much of a killer you are, Charles. Okay, so what'd you do to him? Were you chirping him? Were you whacking him when no one's looking? Were you how'd you get him off his game?
Well, first and foremost, when it comes down to that time in Toronto, and what, I'm trying to be as good as him now. Because when my first 3 years, I'm just trying to, I'm learning, I'm watching how he goes behind the net and what he's kind of embarrassing me at. And so you learn from that, and then you play against him, and now I'm not going to say almost as good because there was nothing there, but I'm getting better. And so that Calgary run, again, the Edmonton-Calgary regime back then, it was a war every night, just like Chicago and St. Louis and Minnesota and St. Louis back in the days. But Gretzky was in LA. So when I got to Calgary, our first round, we won the President's Trophy with I think 116 points, and Montreal was 115 points. And at first round, we're playing against Vancouver, and I struggled in that series. Just, it's one of those things. And you know what? The harder you try, the worse you are. And then we win in overtime, Game 7. Now we go into LA. And, well, this is awesome. Well, we beat them 4 straight. And then we go to Chicago. We beat them in 5, and then we won Game 6 in Montreal. First time anybody's ever won Stanley Cup in Montreal. So it's for me, you don't worry about your opposition. More important, you worry about yourself and how you're going to play.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, and I think Janet Gretzky, we had Wayne on here.
Yeah, we did.
And I think he said Janet told him the closest thing that she's ever seen to Wayne was you as a player. So
yeah, they tried. I know them, and obviously Janet from St. Louis, and we had dinner many times. And actually, I thought I was going to L.A.
Really?
So yeah.
Oh, you'd have been a star there.
Ooh. So you thought you were going to L.A.?
You'd have been Hollywood, Dougie.
Wait, from Calgary, when you were having the contract issues with Calgary, you thought you were going to L.A. and not Toronto?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, like, again, it's thank God. You know what? I heard L.A. and I heard Hartford. Thank God I went to Toronto.
Oh, God. Oh, Dougie.
Rank those 3. L.A., Toronto, Hartford. Okay?
Well, you know what? Even when I got traded to Toronto, they gave, you play with Lou. Lou's the best.
Oh, yeah.
And he's hard on, he's strict and different things, but as a person, what a nice man. He'll do anything for you. If you ask for anything, he'll do it.
Yep.
And you know what? They just changed their hockey club too, didn't they? Real quick.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
And he brings on players he knows too.
Yes, he does. Brings them back.
Yeah. So Cliff Fletcher says, Cliff's in Toronto, but I know I'm getting traded. So again, Doug Risebroug's a GM. He was an assistant coach when we won the cup, and then he became a head coach and GM. And him and I really didn't like each other as players, and so it kind of carried over. And so when I got traded to Calgary, and then Doug Risebrough is more or less saying, I went to arbitration with him and I won, so he doesn't like me now, even worse. So now there's a list where I'm going to go. And it's like, I don't know what the list is, but I heard there were 3 teams from my agent, and I'm going to put in my order: Florida Panthers, Philly Flyers, and then Jersey. Went to Jersey, and I hate saying I have regrets if I could change something, but I should have stayed in Jersey instead of going to Chicago. I liked it there. It was great. The team was great. Great restaurant there called Spanky's. Cam just laughed.
I know where you're at, dude. They changed the name. Yeah.
Okay. Happy Feet. So it's one of those things that it was such a good organization. And my dad, I said before, was a big baseball fan. So I get traded there. My parents come up and we're bring Dad into the dressing room. And so Dr. McMillan on the team, and he's in there. They're doing a little workout on the bikes, really slow, but doing their thing. And who's with him? Yogi Berra. And my dad's a baseball guy. I bring my dad in. He doesn't know that Yogi's there. He looks at him. He almost dropped. He goes, "Oh my God." And again, he was a big memorabilia guy for baseball and stuff. And just to see my dad's face light up, because my parents they worked at Kingston Penitentiary. My dad was a guard. He became a storekeeper. My mom was secretary at a different one. My sister was a guard at the women's pen, and my brother after he retired, he was kind of sports organization there. So it's one of those things. Like, I grew up that they gave me every opportunity that they couldn't afford sometimes. And so when I got traded from Toronto, because my parents came up every weekend to watch the games when we were home, and they stay with me. And now that I'm out of there, it was tough. And, it kind of stressed them out a little bit too. And but I brought him up, and my dad's eyes just lit up when he met Yogi Berra.
Okay.
It was so amazing.
So did mine, Dougie.
Yeah.
Mine did too, because I was like 20 years old, 19, 18 years old, and I got done doing a late workout, and I went into the shower, and I started showering, and I see this older man walk in. Dougie, I had no idea who the hell he was. I'm from saying I had no idea. I showered with him at 18, 19 years old.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? Like how small he was and how good he was.
I'm like, what am I doing? He's best friends with Lou. Lou was friends with everybody, so it was a weird thing. So I showered with Yogi Berra. Proud of it.
I didn't have that chance.
No. Dad, Cam would do that all over again.
Yeah, I'll shower with anybody.
Hey, okay, so let's go back to Calgary. So you got the contract issue, and you essentially quit, right? You left the team. You put it in perspective. What really happened?
Yeah.
Okay, what really happened is we're playing in San Francisco at the Cal Palace, and before San Jose's rink was built. So roommate was Tim Sweeney, played in the NHL a little bit. And I got up in the morning to go for a pee around 6 a.m. in the morning. And so probably back east is 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's like the joining door to my room. Hotels used to have the joining doors.
Oh yeah.
Some do still, but some don't. Well, it was Doug Risebrough. And Doug Risebrough, he's on the phone. I'm going to trade this fucking guy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. It's like mentions my name. And I'm like, hang on a second here. I got to go for a pee, but I got to listen to this. So I laid down on the floor and put my ear down right almost to the carpet. And I'm trying to listen to what's going on. And he's talking about me. He's going to trade me. I don't know what team he's talking to or anything else, but Tim Sweeney wakes up. He goes, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "Your name's evolved too. Get over here." So that's how it happened. And so I waited about a month and a half. So I was going to wait till New Year's. And after we played, I think we beat Montreal 3-2 in overtime, New Year's Eve. And I already had Larry Patey actually was in town that day, and he came in to say hi. And so I said, "Larry, do me a favor, I'm going to give you a dozen sticks, put them in my truck." And so he did. And we had a team party after we won. And I told my team, I said, "Guys, I'm sorry, but I have to leave." And they're like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I won't be at practice tomorrow." And Team Canada is in Calgary at the time, so I can go practice with them. So I had that kind of set up behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And the next morning I walk in, I pack my equipment up, and Paul Baxter's there, and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm done." And he goes, "Doug Riseborough's upstairs in the office. You better go tell him." So I went up and I said, "Thank you very much. And I'm out of here. I'm going to go play with Team Canada." And he goes, "If you walk from this team, I'm going to trade you." Well, I already know that's going to happen.
Right. He's already talking about trading you.
Shit.
Yeah. So the next day I got traded, 10-player deal.
I know.
So,
crazy deal. Crazy deal.
And you guys, you can ask Chopper that. Like, Chopper came to me afterwards. He goes, you know what? Unbelievable how we should have stuck up. Like, meaning somehow, like, management, whatever, rise off, see you later, bye. Because we were a pretty loaded team there with Fleury, Gary Roberts, Newendike, Al McGinnis, Gary Sewer. The list goes on. And it's like, we were a good team we could have been a good team for many, many years. And it got chopped up.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
Chopper's Al McInnes, for all you
for
don't
people
know.
who don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
But like, and Chopper has even mentioned this before, though. Like, you're on the ice, you look up in the box. Was this during the game where before your arbitration hearing that you see the arbitrator sitting with management from Calgary?
Ugh.
What are they masterminding? What you're going to be paid and how the arbitration is going to go?
This is the best story. It's like, so arbitration for me, we're playing on, just say it's Saturday night, arbitration's on Sunday, and these days you're not in the meeting. Sorry, no, you are. Sorry, I apologize. So my agent's in town, and he's like, okay, this is the arbitrator. I believe it was, might have been Bertuzzi, the dad. He was the arbitrator.
Really? Todd Bertuzzi?
Yeah.
We had him on.
Yeah. I think he was the arbitrator for this game.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there, I'm looking up the box, and there's the arbitration guy sitting with Risebell. I'm like, okay, the hell's this going to go? But again, Larry Kelly, he's a lawyer, and first two guys he had was Steve Larmer and Doug Wilson. And again, he wasn't an agent at the time, but he got into this, and then I came in. Then he brought Eiserman in, and you know, we didn't pay percentage; we paid by the hour, which was great back in the days. So, Doug Risebell, his first arbitration, he's got 3 pieces of paper stapled together. Why I don't deserve this money, and my agent goes first, Larry, and he's got probably about 200 pages, and you get affidavits from Wayne Gretzky, Dale Howardchuk. The list goes on. Why I deserve this. So Risebrough he started reading one line and it was going sideways, and he more or less threw it down and goes, "I'm going to trade this guy," and that was it. So,
and you're in there. You're in there watching all this.
Oh yeah, My lawyer's kicked me on the table. It's like 3 pages stapled together, and he's got a booklet that he hands out to the arbitrator, Risebrough, and again, it's got to be 150 pages long, and affidavits from players in the league. Why this is what. We didn't know what other guys made at the time, but it's like, yeah, he deserves this. And so it was too funny.
Wow.
Because Risebrough just lost his mind.
Oh my God.
He couldn't speak, and again, you know, when everything's over and done with, Doug and I spoke, Risebrough, everything's all good, but and he was nice enough to man up and say, you know what, probably the biggest mistake I made.
Oh yeah.
Well, you guys didn't like each other though either. That carried over from your days playing against each other.
Hated him playing against. Oh yeah, I hated him.
All right, good stuff from Dougie Gilmour. How about Luc Robitaille? How cool was he?
What a great human being.
He is great and a great player too.
He looks like how he is. Like you just look at him like I like that guy. He's a nice human being.
Yes, and honest too.
Guy too.
You don't play with Wayne. You know, like dealt with some issue. Remember, he like wasn't drafted. Like it was crazy.
Yeah,
then he got drafted super late. I don't know.
He gave us. He was.
I don't know how teams missed out on Gilmour. They also missed out.
Oh yeah, Luc
Robitaille. A couple of Hall of Famers, man. Lucky Luke.
What
a pleasure it was having this guy on. Enjoy this. Listen, how bad did it hurt you to get traded from LA? Because I know, like reading some stuff, I know Bruce told you that he would never trade you. You would basically play your entire career in Los Angeles. And it kind of goes back to the Marcel Dion situation. Like you learn right away that it's a business.
Oh yeah.
And then it kind of hits you right in the face. Like how difficult was that to get traded and have to leave LA?
It was hard. It wasn't easy, especially the year before. I didn't know at the time, but I broke my ankle, and then I kept playing on it. And then I got surgery at the end of the year. And then, when we got the new GM, he kind of told me, I know you heard rumors. He says, I'm not telling you we don't want to trade Luc Robitaille, but he goes, I'm not telling you if we don't get the right offer, we wouldn't trade Luc Robitaille. So I went to my wife. I go, I think I'm going to get traded. So I was kind of disappointed, but it is part of business. At the time, you're emotional. You don't understand because everything is about the franchise and the team. And then you realize there's a part of it that's a business. And it's just the way it is.
Yeah, I know. I know. And listen, you made some comments then, and that's kind of what I'm getting back at with Wayne. I'm not saying Wayne made the deal, but he got one of his friends coming back the other way. You had some other guys, obviously, that came there after he got there, who he was real close with, guys like Paul Coffey and some other guys. And Rick Tocchet was part of that deal.
What I know today and I didn't know then is no. Because I know Wayne. Wayne was not involved in saying, you got to get rid of this guy, whatever. But I could see management, the GM saying, well, I know he knows him, and I'm gonna make that trade to get that guy. And that person that's a manager, whatever, would try to do things thinking it's going to be better. At the time, I'm sure the manager thinks that's going to be better for the team. I'll get a guy that Wayne gets along that he could play with him. You know what I mean? It's not like, you see what I mean? That would be more that way. I know today that it's not like Wayne. Wayne never went to anybody and said, you got to trade this guy. You got to do this. It's not him.
Yeah.
He's not LeBron James.
No, yeah, exactly. He's not LeBron James or Michael for that matter, really. Too. But so why didn't it work out for you in Pittsburgh, do you think? I mean, then you go on to New York and then you play with Gretzky again and you play with some other big dogs there. Yeah. So everything kind of comes full circle,
It's actually not that it didn't work out. At the time when I went there, if you remember, we had the lockout. Mm-hmm. So when there was settlement on the lockout, if you recall in those days, everybody you would sign a 2-year deal and an option year. Everybody had an option year. So when the lockout happened, there was a settlement. They said they were going to get rid of the option year. And I think it was fought in on the union side. So whomever had an option year left the next year, you had the option the player had the option to take the option or to get out of the option. So for me, the way my contract was written, if I got out of the option, I was able to go to arbitration. And at the time, my agent was Tom Rich at the time, and he said, well, we're going to get you out of your option because he said you have the best arbitration case ever. You got 8 years in a row with over 40 goals. So that's pretty good. Yeah. And I said, okay. Again, I think Pat Brisson was starting as an agent. He was working with Tom, but I clearly remember Tom Rich. I think the only guy that had a better arbitration case but never got to it was Ray Bourque, obviously, and I think he had signed, I can't remember if it was a year before or so forth. And so that's really how it happened. So then Howard Baldwin, it was hard on everyone, those lockouts. And I think financially he knew Mario was coming back. He had to pay him big. So he was very honest with my agent, not me personally. But he said, if Luke files for arbitration, we won't be able to pay him. So we'll have to trade him. And it was more like a handshake deal with my agent. He says, okay, we'll work. He said, I'll make it fair to him. And then that's how I got traded to the Rangers, and I signed a new contract with the Rangers. But, Pittsburgh made a good deal. And, it was a good deal for both teams if you look back.
So you get to New York, what was your mindset when you got there? I mean, you had some big dogs that you played with. I mean, you had Messier, you had Brian Leetch, these guys coming off a Stanley Cup. So what was it like walking into that dressing room?
I loved every minute I was in New York. It was awesome. I mean, it was kind of weird because I wasn't really used to play a secondary or third tier role, so I wasn't mentally. I didn't handle it right. I was hard on myself. I was really trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. Like, and my minutes were cut a little bit, so I wasn't used to that. So in those days, no one communicated with anybody. So if someone would have communicated with me, say, hey, this is what we're going to do, I would have been all right. If this helps the team. But as far as the guys, the city, the organization, there's nothing like playing. It's awesome. New York is a great city. It was playing with Mark Messier. I learned so much. Adam Graves, Brian Leach, Mike Richter. These guys were very special individuals. They're just like really, you could tell they were winners, and you came in the room and they had their aura. It was awesome. The second year we went to the semifinal. It was amazing.
Who recruited you to come to Detroit? Because they had all these Hall of Famers. You knew a bunch of guys there probably. Was it Scotty? Was it a player? Like, how'd you end up there?
I'll tell you what, it was no one. So what happened to me is I really thought I was signing in L.A., and I think everybody else thought I was signing in L.A. And then but no one talked to me for about a month before free agency with L.A. And then I think it was like 2 or 3 days before free agency, LA offered me, I think it was a 1-year deal, and it was a pay cut. So at the time I was like, wait a minute, like, it's nothing, as you learn over time, it becomes a business. And I'm like, well, I led the team in scoring last year, and we had one of the best runs. If you remember, we just beat the Red Wings in the first round, lost in Game 7 against Colorado. So I really felt we only needed 1 or 2 pieces, and we could win it all. And so what happened is I didn't sign, and when the offer was like that, I wasn't told, but it was insinuated that maybe go see what you get in free agency, we'll match it. And I said, absolutely not. If I don't sign by – at the time, for some reason, I think it was 12 o'clock at night, the free agency would start. But I remember clearly saying, like, the one thing I have as a player is I'm not the fastest – not the strongest, but character is what the reason I'm still playing. So I said, no, I'm never going to go negotiate with another team and then take it back. The reason is that's not the kind of person I am, because if I tell a team I want to negotiate with you, that means I want to go to you. That was my personal thing. So it didn't work out with LA. And then, I think it was a Sunday morning, and I talked to my agent, was with Pat Brisson, and I was kind of looking at what team could be interested in me, like, because my name wasn't anywhere as far as a free agent. Everybody thought I was either going to sign with LA or I was already signed with LA. So I was looking at stay on the West Coast because my kids were enrolled in school, and I figured if I'm anywhere on the West Coast or even Dallas or something, I could fly back. I wasn't, nothing makes sense at the time. Everything's moving fast. So anyway, the Sharks, I think I just signed Adam Graves, and then Dallas, I think I'd gotten Pierre Turgeon and Donald, and they'd spend their money on them. So I was looking, I was talking to my agent, I was kind of writing down stuff, and I'll never forget my wife, she says, who do you think is going to be the best team next year? So without even a thought, I said, well, Detroit. She goes, well, why? I said, well, they just got Dominic Hasek. And I said, everybody knew they were missing a goalie. She goes, well, why don't you try to go there? I'm like, well, because it's more on the East Coast. She goes, it doesn't matter whether you have to fly to San Jose, or I have to fly with the kids to see you, whether it's 1 hour, 2 hours, or 4-hour flight, it's the same. So I said, really? I said, okay. I said, well, Detroit would be the best. So literally we called Detroit, and Pat Brisson called, and Ken Hull, and he said, oh, I thought he was signed. He goes, no, he said, and he told me he'd like to come to you. So I think the deal was done within 45 minutes.
Wow. Listen to that. And
good for her.
I can't imagine. Because you played, obviously, in L.A. with Gretzky and, McSorley and all those guys. He had some loud, big names, obviously. But you walk into Detroit, and you see Shanahan and Fedorov and Yzerman and Hull and Chelios. Like, oh, my God. Like, how much fun did you guys have away from the rink, off the ice? Like, did Scotty have to coach you guys? Did you have a system? Did he just say, okay, go out and play? Like, explain the difference of playing on that team versus the rest of your career.
It was it was surreal. And there's a saying that people say, you never really know how to win until you win. You know, and I really realized that year what it takes to win, because then obviously we all had a great career, but there was such amount of trust amongst all the guys. And Stevie was the leader. Nick Lidstrom obviously was leader on D, but there was an amount of trust where you knew when you went off the ice, the next guy was going to cover for you. It was just so much fun. And it was like everybody always looked at everything as a big picture. Like I'll never forget Scotty Bowman he didn't come on the ice the first week at camp. And then I think the second or third day he came by the board, and he told Dave Lewis and Barry Smith, that was his assistant coach, he said, I know they're going to skate a little bit, and he's not really addressing us. He's addressing the two assistant coaches. If you guys know Scotty, it's kind of funny when he talks, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We had him on.
And he starts getting mad at the coaches. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. And he's pointing at them. He goes, no one is allowed to stop. And he's giving them shit. No one is allowed. And we're all laughing. We're behind him. We're laughing. He goes, if anybody gets hurt, it's your fault. And then he goes, because we're going to play till June. There's no sense. But I'll never forget, I skated away. I'm like, this son of a gun just said we're going to play till June. Like everything was about, you know, you're doing this today, but it's because we're going to play till June. You know, it was always like, without saying, okay, we're going to win the championship, we're trying to win the championship. He was always like talking a certain way that was different. Like there was another game where Chris Draper, I think that year, had 20 goals or something like that. And he was on the grind line, and the grind line was known, you know, they kill penalties and they grind the top line. Well, there was one game where I think Chris Draper had 2 goals, and we were up maybe 4-2 or 5-2, and it was maybe 4 minutes left. We got a power play, and you know, it was a commercial, so they're scraping the ice, and all the guys like Shanny, they're like, "Come on, Drape, get out there, go get your hat trick." And Chris Draper looks at Scotty, and Scotty says, "I could swear. Is this a podcast? I could swear, guys, huh?"
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised Cam hasn't sweared. Yeah, this is actually amazing.
Scotty just barely, I don't think he even made eye contact with Chris. We just get the fuck off the ice. And it was like, the message was clear. It was like, no, you're not here to score goals. Then he did on purpose too. He's like, Holly, Stevie, Luke, like Nick, you know, like he put like the best power play he could. So his message was like, no, regardless of where you're at today, you're here to kill penalties and you're to grind. These guys are here to score the goals. You're not the guy getting 3 tonight.
The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by Bellman and Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get out there to Detroit, Missouri. Check it out. On one side, you got the Buick, the GMC. Options for everybody. Then right across the street, you got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Again, find something that works for you and get yourself a new set of wheels in time for the winter. Now, back to the interview. All right, that was Lucky Luke.
Yeah.
Luke Robitaille, man. There's something about having that French-Canadian accent. I kind of wish I had that a little bit.
It is a kind of a sexy thing.
You know, if I had that.
If you had that, then what would happen?
Well, I don't know. You know?
Nothing would be different.
Probably
in
not.
Canada.
Probably not.
Still not. You wouldn't have your citizenship.
Listen, when we had this guy on, Brian Sutter, like the longest tenured captain in Blues history, like the Sutter name is just like, you know, arguably the most popular name in the history of the game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you look at that family, 6 brothers, all the nephews who have made it, grandkids. Dude, this was the first one to ever make it.
Yep.
Great coach, great player. Ton of response and reaction from the listeners when we had Brian Sutter on.
He was great.
If you missed it, here's a snippet.
People don't talk about this, but the St. Louis, the farm team for the Calgary Flames, and there was only 2 players that didn't go from St. Louis to Calgary that were supposedly top players in their team. You know, when Calgary won the Cup, what was there, 10, 11 of their players played for us in St. Louis in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, 3 of their top 6D, Rammer, Rick Natras, Terry Johnson, their top centerman, Doug Gilmour, their best 2 right wingers, Joey Mullen and Mark Hunter, on and on and on. And it's because we were so close together, and it paid off. And teams like Calgary, again, Cliff Fletcher was there, and Al McNeil, and those guys knew what they were looking for. They none of those guys besides Dougie and little Joe were their top end scorers, but they were all character, quality people. And I don't know, as a captain and as a coach, that's what you try to instill in everybody else. And it's the guys that everybody else disliked the most. We made sure that first night we had a beer or two together, and we got things straightened around in a hell of a hurry.
All right, let me ask you this, Sudsy. So, like, because you're playing and you have this relationship with all these guys, they're your teammates, and then, I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see it again. I mean, a player goes straight from being a player to being the head coach of a team in the National Hockey League. It's unheard of. Were you comfortable right off the bat coaching guys that were some of your best friends, like specifically a guy like Bernie Federko? Now he's one of your players. He goes from being your best friend teammate. Now you have the coach-player relationship. Like, break down that adjustment. How difficult was that for you?
Well, it was really hard. It was interesting because Mr. Quinn had called me, and at the end of every season, as you guys know, we're not about a day's drive from the Gulf of Mexico, and Rammer and his Rob and his family and our family, we always went to the Gulf of Mexico for a couple of days, and we were leaving that day, and they said, "Could you stop at the rink when you're heading out of town?" And I'll never forget, because I'd played 9 years and I'd broken every bone in my body, but you never missed a game. And then I broke my scapula halfway through, I believe it was my 9th year. And it was early in January. I remember I was leading the league in goals at 19 goals. It was January 2nd, and it was in Minnesota. And I got hit funny into the boards and broke my scapula, and I missed a bunch of time. And the next couple of years were hard because the doctors didn't know how to diagnose me, and I missed half of that year and half the next year, and then came back. But I got myself. I was always in great shape, and anyhow, and so I was just getting my career going. I'd come back after a year again, anyhow, and it was kind of neat. I just signed, and they just signed me to a new 4-year contract, 3 years plus an option, but they said stop at the rink. So we stopped at the rink, and I couldn't believe what they told me, and lots of times they'd get you to stop and they'd ask you about a player in another team. What do you know about him, Suds? Would he be a good teammate or this or that? And you never ever really said anything bad about anybody. So I said, Brian, and they hadn't let our coach go yet, but they said, we want to name you coach. And I remember looking at them and hesitating and wondering why in the hell they would want that. They just signed me to a new contract. I was in the best shape I couldn't wait for next season to start. But we had the oldest team in the league, and once again we had the smallest payroll. And anyhow, it was kind of interesting because we went to the Gulf of Mexico, and I thought about it a lot and talked about it with Judy quite a bit, and I said we'd do it. And I wasn't 32 years old, and it was hard. It was kind of, I look back at it because I became the youngest captain in the history of the NHL when they named me captain. Everybody back then was like 34, 35, and Red was our captain. He was 38 or 39 a couple of years before, and I was 21, 22, and so it was the same thing as a coach. It was hard. But I look back and made those comparisons, and it was hard, you guys, but something I always did. And again, we talk about where I was raised. The first thing I did is when they named me captain or coach, is that I hired the most experienced people to coach with me that I could find. And one was Bob Barry, and Bob had coached I don't know how many years in the NHL then, and he was a top head coach out in LA. And so Bobby came, and then Wayne Thomas was a guy that was always goaltending coaches were new then, and yet he had head coaching ability, and he played for a lot of good teams. And Wayne came, and then I got Joe to Nicoletti he was a younger guy, like a few years older than me, but it was an awesome group, and they made the turnover a little bit easier from a to a coach, and yet I knew we had to change. And it was it hard coaching. Well, Bernie Federko was my centerman for all the years, and Doug Gilmour was my centerman the last couple of years. And now to coach those guys, that you knew that was going to be hard. But if you never forget where you come from, you always remember where you're going in life. And I never forgot the things that Red and Barkley and Bobby and Claude LaRose and Glenn Hall and Al Arbor and Mr. Francis, Jacques Demers taught me over the years. And again, it goes back to trust and respect. And back then, the general managers and the owners, if they decide to trade somebody, they didn't always talk to the coach. And that's the part that I tried to explain to them that had to change. And it was changing in the NHL then. And I'll give you a good example that I came down to get coaches back then. You'd get together at the draft in June, and then you'd get together late in July and early August for a week or 10 days and go over, everything from do all your travel and everything else. And back then, Susie Matthews, our public relations manager and a special friend and like a general manager too. And anyhow, but you got together and you talked about things. But I'll never forget, I was flying back home to the Western Canada farm, stopped in Minnesota, switching planes, and I thought I should call the office because I thought there was something weird going on when I left there. And the general manager and the president weren't really telling me. And they said something to me that they'd traded Dougie Gilmour. And I said, "You've done what?" We had Dougie, and Bernie was an older veteran guy and still one of the top centermen. Dougie, I knew was going to be a star. And probably the only reason he wasn't because he was playing with me. And, but anyhow, it was interesting. I tore the pay phone off the wall, and the friggin' guys in the Minnesota airport were going to throw me in jail. I was so mad because they said they traded Dougie to Calgary. Yeah, okay. And then when and it was all over, it was over money and a supposed off ice issue that wasn't true. And it was, that happened again and again. They did it to me with my best friend, Bernie. And I said, okay, fine then. You guys are going to do that. You guys are going to trade him. And in one way I was happy for Bernie because him and I were always underpaid compared to the other top guys in the league. And we never complained about it. We thought we were in heaven because St. Louis was such a great city and the people were great. And it still is home to Bernie. It still is home to Mom and I. And, but I said, fine. I remember saying it to Mr. Cron, fine, you buggers. And I was really upset. I knew they were going to do it. And Jacques Demers had left us and gone there. And of course he'd want Bernie. Bernie was still a great player. And I says, okay, I'll never forget my exact words. Okay, you buggers, you're trading our top player. I get to pick the players that are coming back. And they told me who they're getting back. I said, forget it, you guys. And that's not the guys we're getting back. But hey, I wanted Paul McLean because we had a young man that I know was helping turn into one of the greatest players in the history of hockey in Brett Hull. And I knew Holly was like a son to me and still is. I knew I needed somebody to help me as a player to help Holly get better. And so that's how we got Paul McLean. The other guy, we had to replace Bernie. And Adam Oates was the fourth line center in Detroit. He hardly ever killed penalties, played the point in the power play a little bit, but he wasn't a top end player. I said, I want Adam Oates and Paul McLean. And we got him. And I know it killed Bernie and it killed me and it hurt our relationship. It doesn't anymore, but because we were so close and our wives were close and our families were close. But there's a lot of little things that went on. Was it hard? You guys asked me to become a coach. I'm giving you two of the toughest ones because we had a lot. We became one of the youngest teams in the NHL and had, like we said, the Steve Tuttles and Tom Tillys and so many guys like that. They were special guys, and it was, we became something as a team and as a group again. And I don't know. It was interesting, but I look back and I enjoyed it. It just went too quick. Everybody wondered how it was, and It was hard. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm a little long-winded, but you guys are asking questions I've never been asked before, and those are pretty neat questions.
All right, that was Brian Sutter, man. Sudsy, appreciate him for joining us. He even called me after the show. I remember saying, wow, that was incredible. Very emotional for him.
I like that. Yep.
Very
we get people emotional when they come on our podcast.
Yes, yeah. From one emotional interview to another, Brantt Myhres, man, this guy has a story to tell, and it's a story that, really is inspiring for so many different reasons, Cam.
Love him. Yeah, man. It hit home to me and a lot of guys. We got a lot of reaction off this, and he went through some hardcore shit. I could relate to a lot of it, and I feel like we're besties now. I love the dude.
Yeah, he's one of those guys you have on the instant connection.
Yeah, now we all follow each other, dude. I love that, the connection part. Like some of these guys, like Luke, like I'm not like following him on Facebook, but like Brantt Myhres and those guys, now it's like you always see what they're doing. I'm keeping up with them. Anyway, I love it.
No, he's awesome. Yeah. Awesome. He's got a great book out too. Check that out, called Painkiller. Yep. Anyway, he joined us, man, for a great interview. Check this out. It's interesting though, because like you look at it. Okay, so your biological parents and everything, and then everything you've been through, like, don't you think everything's connected, right? I mean, how you were raised, even though you transitioned to your grandparents at a very young age, you're still impacted and affected by not being with your parents and not having that relationship with them, right?
Yeah, and you know what, you guys, it didn't really hit home till I had a kid. When I was holding Chloe in my arms, and anybody ever till this day even fucking laid a finger on her. I mean, it's fight to the death. And so for me, I couldn't, once I had that love for a child, I started, especially when I wrote the book, I started going back and thinking how a parent could let somebody beat the shit out of a 5-year-old kid and then let them do it again and again. So that just goes to show you obviously the mental abuse or torture that my mother was under at that time. And she was just a baby too. I believe she was only, she was 18 when she had me.
Listen, and you wrote this book, and the reason why it gets a lot of people's attention too is because I think you're the only player in the history of the game that's been banned from hockey.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so you get banned from the game. Did you see that coming? Did you know you had one more strike left? And when you find out you can't play hockey, and you reflect on the little kid that's putting his hockey bag over his shoulder, skating on his own, doing all that, like this is your life, and now that's taken away from you.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there?
Yeah, I remember I was the only player to make it back from stage 4, which was a full year suspension, and then I had to get reinstated by Gary Bettman for the second time. And there is no stage 5. So when after that fight with Larocque, I got sent down, my face was smashed up. I couldn't fight anymore, and couldn't really play anymore. Anyways, I relapsed again, and I even went harder than I did before. And I was done. That was it. My chances were over. And I just remember going to the only place I could play was in England. Yeah. And I got off the plane, and I was drunk for about, I think, 22 days in a row. And finally, they even called me in and said, we're done. You're going back to Canada. So I was sitting there with grade 9 education. Again, I think I counted my money. I think I had a little over $300 left in this little fucking box that I had. And, I was living with some people that enjoyed doing what I like to do. And it got really, really, really dark. But part of the book, you guys, is that this story has in my opinion, an ending that wasn't tragic. And I think we need to focus on that, is that no matter how far down the scale you have gone, and believe me, I went down really far, is that you need to grab the fucking rope, and you need to start to pull and pull and pull and have faith that things can get better. And that's what happened for me. And my life today in sobriety is 10 times better than when I played in the NHL.
Can I ask you about the situation when you got arrested? Like, was that rock bottom for you? And like you mentioned your sister, you mentioned a knife. Like, what went down in that particular situation?
Well, that was a tough night for me. I think it was 2 years boiling up of shame and embarrassment, and what my life turned into after playing in the National Hockey League. I just remember going to the freezer. They had these little airplane bottles of whiskey, I think. And the kids were upstairs playing, and that from what my sister told me, and she took pictures of what I did to the house. So I blacked out at around 7. I had her by her throat over the sink, and the kids went upstairs and were hiding in the closet. And then I grabbed the knife out and I had it pointed at my stomach, and I said I should just do it or something like that. Like, my life sucks, blah, blah, blah. I'm fucking done. But the only thing that I remember is I was in the snow with a cop. He had his knee on my neck, and I had my hands handcuffed. And then I looked back at my sister, and she was screaming in the doorway. And I just said, "What happened?" And they said, "Well, she doesn't want to charge you. She just wants to take you home and put you to bed." And they took the handcuffs off, and I went home that night, pissed the bed. I was fucking hammered.
Oh, God.
I couldn't even move. And I woke up and I got on my knees, and that was the first time, like I said, where I really said a prayer, and where I needed some help here. And the league somehow heard about what happened. And then Dan Cronin called me the next day and said, "Are you committed on going for long term?" And I said, "Well, what does that look like, Dan?" I said, "I'm having a baby being born here in fucking 5 days." And he just said, "Brantt, the old saying what I've repeated, if you don't get on that plane, she won't have a father." And so I did. And I didn't see Chloe until she was around 8.5 months old. And it was tough, man. It was a tough road.
What do you tell her now, talking about Chloe? Because she's old enough. She's 13, right? So I'm just doing the math, right? You've been sober for 13 years. What do you tell her about who her dad was versus who her dad is now? And I'm curious, I mean, you're still proud about what you accomplished as a hockey player. You were an NHL player, even though that was part of your prior life, right?
Sure. Yeah, I had a long talk with her about a year ago as I was writing the book. And I just said, "Honey," I said, what you're going to read in the first 150 pages, if you decide to ever read it one day, it's not who Daddy is today, and it's not the Daddy that you know. Daddy got sober when you were born. I had, I think, 6 days clean at that point, so you've never seen me drunk. And the last half of the book is about when I first met you, and the look that you gave me when I pulled the blanket off your face, and all the good stuff, honey. But there are some things about your dad that you're going to read about that you may not be too proud of. But I think that you know me well enough that you're proud today, for sure.
All right. Again, that was Brantt Myhres, man. Not Brent. Some people want to call him
homie.
Brent. It's Brantt.
It's Brantt, homie.
Yeah, Brantt.
And his last
Myhres.
name's fucked up.
It's like spelled all crazy.
He's crazy, dude.
It's M-Y-H. And people are like, "We're looking for the book. We can't find it." M-Y-H-E-R-S. Brantt Myhres. All right, Todd Bertuzzi. If there was one guest that I could say, "Wow, man, I'm so excited to have this guy on. I can't wait to interview this guy," it would be Todd Bertuzzi.
Yeah, he was so cool. Talked to him afterwards. Got into a little jam.
Yeah.
Talked to him after that. That was a weird
A lot of respect though for him as a player. And a lot of former players and teammates, man, even people who aren't on his team.
They love him.
They've come to his defense with some stuff too.
They love him, dude. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
And man, he was great coming on.
Great player too, man. Check this out. Todd Bertuzzi joined us right here on the Cam Strick Podcast, presented by Hair Club. People forget you began your career with the Islanders.
Yeah, baby.
Like Mike Milbury. Like, can you describe him for us? Like, we've had other guys who played for him and who maybe worked with him, whatever. Like, what should we know about what he was like then? And how do you look at him? Like, when you see him on TV, what's your impression of Mike Milbury, Bert?
He was back then. He was just a fucking crazy ass motherfucker, man. I didn't even know I was playing in the NHL when I was playing with the Islanders, other than looking at the roster. We had everything, but we only won 16 games. But it was like the shit that went on. Like the one time I remember we were on maybe a 10-game losing streak. He thought that we were eating too much at pregame meal, so he took pregame meal away. So now you have to go out after morning skate, and you have to go find a restaurant to find. And then all the people are going to be like, well, pregame meal is like 5-star gold if you're a hockey player, because you go to it, you got a beautiful buffet all set up. He took that away. I remember we lost to St. Louis an afternoon game, got pounded. And he goes into the room and says, "Go tell your wives and your equipment right now you're not coming home." We're like, what the fuck's he talking about not coming home? So we go back in the room. He made us take our jerseys off. So then we go skate out onto the rink, and St. Louis is walking by us in Nassau Coliseum to go to their bus. And you got Brett Hall, Adam Oates, Al McGinnis. You got all these guys walking by, shaking their head. Our whole team's lined up with no jerseys on, and he's got the alphabet skating going. Like, A's for asshole. Bertuzzi, you're an asshole, down and back.
Oh, my fuck.
So we had to go through A all the way through Z. We were there for 2 hours going back and forth, and he was just peeling guys. But just the whole experience, like even, we lost to Detroit 11-0, I think. Our plane, this is how bad we were. Our plane was backing up. We hit a telephone pole, so we couldn't fly out. So we had to go stay at a hotel. So what do you do after you get in shit kicked? You go stay at a hotel and you drink beer. So we all were drinking beers and all this and playing cards, and it went till 3-4 in the morning. And then next thing you know, a mattress ended up outside, a TV ended up outside, a phone ended up outside. And then Mike comes in his underwear, knocks on the doors and yells at all of us that we're all suspended. And then then he goes, you guys got to go down to the hotel. This is 5 in the morning, because back then we didn't have our own plane, so we had to commercial. So we had to get the bus at 5, get to the airport. So then all of a sudden we go to the back, and everyone, we had to make a circle, and one of the individuals and Mike fucking squared off the fight until we stepped in saying, fuck, this possibly cannot happen.
Wait, he's going to fight who?
He was fighting one of our players who he blamed on everything that happened, which it wasn't his fault, because hey, we're all grown men. If you want to go and drink beers, and
was he a leader?
No, he was a very, very well respected, loved player on our team, and I love the guy to death. But this ended up happening over here, and then after 2 years of it, I was like, fuck, I got to get out of here. Like, I can't even believe this is the league, and I love Long Island. Long Island's beautiful with the beaches and the towns and all that. You got the harbors. I loved it, but I remember asking for a trade. I go in the office and I said to Ginger, I said, hey, is Mike here? I got to I need to talk to him. So I come in the room and I said, hey, this is not working out, man. So it'd be nice if I can go somewhere else. He goes, perfect. I got a place where you can go. So I go out. I wait. He calls me in. Okay, it's done. Your flight leaves in 2 hours. You're going to Salt Lake City. I said, Salt Lake City? That's not in the fucking NHL. What's he talking about? Oh, it's a fucking IHL. So he sent me down. Jesus. So I fly all the way down there. I just touch it. So I got sent down with Mick Vakota and Gordonine. We just touch it. We just fly 3 hours. We touch down. We get to the airport. All of a sudden, the hotel phone rings. And it's the Islanders that called me back up. I didn't even get to practice, nothing. I just landed.
Oh, my God.
So I got to fly to New Jersey. He healthy scratched me in Jersey. We bus home from New Jersey all the way to the island. He sent me right back down that morning. I fly all the way back there again. I get one practice in. He calls me back up to Philly. So I go to Philly. I'm healthy scratched in Philly. Take the bus all the way back to the island. He tells me I'm going down the next day. I end up going down there and thankfully played 10 games, played well, and got traded to Vancouver. But
he tortured you. He tortured you.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I'm not going to sit here and piss and moan. It was part of fucking growing up for me, and it was part of just our culture in hockey back then. So all these guys who are playing now and all that, they have no clue what it was like back then.
I got to ask you about Mike Babcock in Detroit. Like, everyone's got an opinion of Babs. Like, what was your opinion of him, player, coach-wise? Did you like him?
This is how I put it. Babs was one of the best strategic, ahead of the curve coach. Very intelligent hockey-wise and all that. And to be honest with you, I didn't mind him at all. Like, I went out for a couple beers. Did I agree with how he handled some situations? Did I agree with how he spoke in some situations? No, I didn't. And I had a situation with me where he disrespected me, and I walked into the room and I was ready to flip his desk over, and I wasn't going to take that shit. You're not going to speak to me like that. I don't care who you are. This isn't back in 1993 where I'm a scared 18, 19-year-old. Like, I'll clock your freaking head off if you speak to me like that. And he apologized, and we did have beers and all that. So I never had a problem with Babs. We had a very, business-like mutual respect. He did help me a lot by putting me up with the top line with the Datsyuks and the Zetterbergs. I played some big-time minutes. I played some important minutes on there. So I've never had a problem. I know there's a lot of people who think otherwise, and they had different relationships and all that. But no, I didn't agree with how he handled certain situations and players and people. But if you're asking me, he didn't bother me after our early confrontation that we had.
All right, that was Bert. That's what they call him, by the way. It's Bert.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Bert.
I
Are you like adding things to the name?
Well, I always give everybody a nickname.
You ever play against him?
Yeah.
Could he have handled you in a fight?
I mean, yeah, he's strong enough to.
He's tough, huh?
Yeah.
Like, who's the toughest player you played against that was a star that you're like, if this guy wanted to be a tough guy, he could.
Right. Well, at the time, Lucic was pretty much a star, too.
Ginla,
yeah. Ginla was
could have been a
lefty.
heavy. Like, I mean, really. I mean, you know what I mean by heavy.
Yeah, he was tough, man. He
really
was
tough.
a killer. Lucic was like he was a Wendell Clark at the time when he first came in with Boston.
Yeah. All right, Derek.
And we had him on, too.
Derek England.
Oh,
he used to drop him,
guy.
dude.
Oh, goddamn right.
He's
down
one of the very
pipe,
few
boy.
defensemen that I can remember playing in the NHL that would fight off the draw.
Down.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Erskine would do it. There's some cats.
Yeah, not many.
Karkner could do it. There's some dudes that do it. But he was like 27 when he started, played till he was like 37, played good, made some good money, leader everywhere he went. His wife's badass. His wife might be cooler than he is.
Who knows, man?
She's
It's
cool.
probably the case for most of our guests.
That so much. I like when you get a cool chick that'll come on back. Hi. Like, what's up?
I know. The wife came on. Derek England, great interview with him and also his wife. Check this out.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Derek.
Is this Derek or no?
He's coming. 1 second.
Okay. No. Wait. We want to talk to you.
I am the better person to talk to, but he's coming to the phone right now.
You can give us the background, how he met you, how you picked him up.
How does his body look right now after being retired? That's what I want to know.
Actually, he's been working out hardcore. He looks good. He lost weight.
What about his hair? Does he still have beautiful hair?
No. Well, yeah, but it's a little bit gray now.
Oh, well,
so what color? Wait, girl. Wait.
What happens in retirement.
No, wait, time out, though. Who cares about the gray? Dye that. And he still has it, though. My hair is gray, and I'm losing it. My wife's losing her mind. You got it good,
You're
girl.
not losing. He's never going to lose hair. I've seen his dad. He's never losing hair.
Oh, no.
Okay, before you turn it over, how's
Okay.
it? What's it like having Derek around all the time? Are you sick of him yet, or are you loving it?
I'm kind of sick of him.
Yeah, I
my
figured
God,
that.
that's
I figured
the
that.
answer. That's the answer.
I figured that. We love you. Actually, stay on. We don't care about him anymore.
Are you guys live?
Well, we just hit record and we just start going. We don't,
man.
that's just how we go. That's just how we roll. But
is he hung well? I'm just joking. I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm
my
kidding.
God.
I don't need to ask you anyway. I'll ask his teammates. It's all good.
We don't need to tell everybody in the whole world
We're
that,
joking.
do we?
No, of course not.
No, of course
I'm
not.
hung like a gerbil. It's all good. We're
Then
good. It's all good.
it's going to get real.
See you, sweetie. Nice meeting you, by the way. I'm Cam. This is Andy, by the way.
Thank you,
nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, I'm the nice.
Bye.
I'm the nice one. Cam,
Andy, she's gone.
Cam,
Andy,
is
she's gone.
I don't know
I'm
what
still
you.
listening.
I mean,
I could listen to you guys forever.
I
This
know.
is hilarious.
This is what we do.
That's what we
and
do.
Cam's
This
late
is exactly
today.
what it's like when I'm like listening to I have two boys when they talk. I'm like, this is hilarious.
Oh, is it a compliment?
Wait, how old are your boys?
Yeah. I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Oh my God! So you have real. Listen, mine are 10.
Here we go.
10,
Oh,
7,
Jesus
and
Christ.
4. So like the 10-year-old, that's like a real kid. Like it's like the other ones are kind of like toys. They
Are
just
their
kind
hair-
of follow you around.
Is the hair long? Are they flowing it in the wind? Is it coming out of the helmet? That's my question to the kids.
We have a mohawk. We have a mohawk on
nice.
one. Derek did teach my kid how to, what did you teach him the other day when he was peeing? He's like, let's cross swords.
Oh,
Yes.
there
No.
you go. That's how you do
No,
it.
time out. You never
I'm like-
cross the streams. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, you never cross the streams. Then the god will come in, and if you say you're not a god, she's going to kill you.
Hey, listen.
Hey, that's good advice.
All I know is that my 5-year-old was trying to get me to cross streams with him, and I said, hell no. And I'm like, who taught you this? And he's like, Dad. And I'm like, well, that's what happens in retirement, I guess.
Don't tell anybody that, by the way.
That would make quite the YouTube video right there.
Hey, by the way,
crossing streams.
never mind Derek. We're going to talk to his
Wait,
lovely wife
yeah.
about. Oh no, we're not going to do
Derek,
that.
he's way more interesting than Petrangelo. I'll tell you that that
You're
right
way
now.
cooler than Derek. Thank you again. Go do what you got to do. Put the D-man
Yeah.
on. We got to talk to
I'm
him.
being Derek's secretary right now, so I have
Hey.
to do paperwork for him.
Well,
so,
he owes you money.
And you know what? I give you a lot of credit too, because
Yeah.
listen,
You're cooler than he is.
well, and she stuck with him throughout the entire grind, right?
Oh,
It's not
shit
like
from
she
LA.
met him
Oh,
when
yeah.
he was in the show. She knows the whole story.
Did
so.
you like him more with East Coast Vegas Derek or the National Hockey League Derek?
Don't lie.
Well, I think the East Coast Derek was way tougher, and then like the NHL Derek kind of got to be a little bit more like a pussy as he got older. He was kinda
Ah, that's what I'm talking
God
about.
damn right.
So it softened it up in Vegas. See?
he did. He kind of got once the kids started to get older. He didn't fight as much. He kind of got he got soft a little.
yeah, he's
Well,
soft.
that's the way
You're
the
right.
game is nowadays.
You're
See,
right.
Cam, that's what he used
He
to do.
needs testosterone.
Cam used to fight all the time, and now he's soft. He's just
Yeah,
a big.
I got a kitty cat, and now I'm a softie. I'm a
Of a
pussy.
kitty cat.
Yeah, well, she's like very popular in like the neighborhood and shit.
He thinks she
Oh, I bet she is.
Oh,
I
yeah.
bet she
Hey,
is.
No,
now,
well, she is.
What's it like though for the wife though? Like when the husband retires, do you miss not going down to the games, like seeing the other wives and all that? How's it? What's it like for you?
Were the wives cool?
Were the wives
Yeah,
cool?
yeah. Yeah, it was cool. I still see most of them because our kids are all friends, so I see most of them. I miss going to the games, but nobody can go to the games right now, so I guess I'm not missing that much. I think it's more like Derek being around all the time, which you're not used to. I'm used to having some time alone to myself, and I don't get that anymore.
Well, tell Derek to beat it. Be like, hey,
I know,
get
I-
out of here. Like I got shit to do.
Listen, Derek
I'm
has.
like, go do your job.
No
He's got
shit.
the best. He's got the best title in the organization. I want to be assistant to the owner. That's why we're
Is that
bringing
what
him on.
it is?
Oh, he's assistant to the owner, Bill Foley. We're not talking about his career. We're talking about his new job, assistant to the owner. That's what I want to talk about.
Hey, were the wives cool with you though? No, real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I want to let you go.
Yeah.
But were they
Yeah,
cool?
no, we had a great time.
When you walked
We used
in,
to party all the time.
okay, cool. Because you know how sometimes it is, though, right? Like if you're, not that you were the new girl in town or anything
No,
like that,
dude,
but
they all
like,
came in together.
okay, fine. But some of the girls have been in the league 10 years. So they think it's like being a 10-year vet, which you've never been, Andy. So the point is, like, when you walk into that wives lounge, and are you like, oh, hi, I'm Derek's wife? Were they all cool with you? Or some like, I'm cooler than you because I'm in the game?
Terrible question.
That's a fucking awesome question. You can answer that if you want.
Okay.
No, our first year, all we did was drink all the time.
Well, that's what you do in
Yeah,
Vegas.
and gamble, I guess.
I know.
You're like
And
everybody
we
else
went-
who goes to Vegas.
I felt like I was a teenager all over again. I would wake up, go to work hungover half the season that first year. It was not pretty.
Well, you shouldn't be
At
working.
all.
You shouldn't be working.
What was your favorite NHL stop though? Was it Pittsburgh, Calgary, Vegas?
Well, I love Vegas because it's our home. I loved Pittsburgh because it was like our introductory to hockey, and I'm still really good friends with a lot of the wives on the Pittsburgh team. So that's like 10 years. Calgary was really too cold for me, to be honest.
Oh,
I didn't.
God.
It wasn't just for weather
I know,
purposes. I
it's
hated
too cold.
it.
Last question.
I got
from
one
me.
last question, Andy.
Can I ask mine first?
You're fine.
Is Marc-Andre Fleury the nicest human being you've ever met? Is his wife as nice as he is?
They're both like so nice. It's ridiculous.
I know. Could you ever
Sweet
imagine
question,
being that
Andy.
nice?
What do you think she's going to say to that?
Could you ever
Get outta
imagine
here.
being that nice, like all the time? Could you ever do that?
Mark is really the nicest guy ever, actually. He's never upset, ever.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen him mad.
Well, he got a sword in the back one time by not his agent, but his agent put it out there. Last question from me. Do you ever look at Derek and say, God damn it, Derek, I love you. You're a handsome bugger. You got great hair. But damn it, why didn't you make the NHL at age 21 instead of 27? Do you ever say that to him so we'd have like $15 million more dollars?
I say it to him all the time. I know exactly why he didn't make it into the NHL
Okay, tell us why.
early.
Well, why?
Because he drank too much.
Oh.
I wasn't ready for the NHL.
Oh, here he is now. Oh, now he's moving.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we'll tell you
Don't be
when
a
you're
pussy.
ready. We'll tell you when
We're
you're
not.
ready.
We don't want to talk to you.
I talked to Al Watt today.
Okay,
I
put
asked
him on.
the same question.
Hey,
Come on now.
she's the best of the
Here,
best.
I'll let.
I know.
He's
Listen,
getting jealous right now. He's
Okay.
upset.
I know.
I'm like
You-
stealing the
Hey,
show.
you're gonna be on the next show.
Oh, she's on. She's on.
You
that.
need to have Hockey Wives podcast.
Oh God.
Derek.
Oh no.
Derek. Hey, Derek. Just say it to everybody. We love you. but she runs your show, and that's all. That's fine. My broad runs my show. It's fine. You got to deal with it. It's all good.
Doesn't matter who you are. Your wife runs your show.
No,
That's true.
Derek, we thought you were cool before you came on, and now you're even cooler.
Totally
your
cool.
wife's cool. If
Exactly.
your wife is
She's
cool,
way cooler than I am,
yes,
for
that's
sure.
the way it works.
Wow.
Cam's
Wait,
wife's
if
way
you didn't
cooler
say
than
that,
him,
you
too.
wouldn't get any.
Oh,
It's just they did keep her on, please. Thank you.
He knows. Apparently, this is like we can be like. This isn't like a PG kind of podcast. This is like a R-rated podcast.
No, this is Disney, girl. What are you talking about?
hey, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You know that.
Well, thank you very much. You're the best of the best. Derek's kind of cool. You're way cooler than he is, and
I
that's the
feel like you
bottom
guys
line.
need to come out to Vegas when it opens up and like get some drinks.
Oh,
Like you
we're
belong
coming out.
here.
No, we do belong there. Tell Bill. Bill needs to hire us.
Yes.
He's hired
Yeah.
some other broadcasters,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I understand that. But
St. Louis broadcasters.
Listen, Vegas needs entertainment. You want to take the entertainment to the next level? Bring us out.
Exactly. And tell
Yeah.
Derek to bring his credit card out too, and we'll gamble all night. It's
I mean,
all good to
listen,
go.
They've got Mike McKenna working out there. He travels back.
He's
and forth.
retired.
We
He
can-
has a limit now.
We
Come
can
on.
travel. No, there's no
No, he
limit.
doesn't.
There's
No.
limit.
I'm his boss now.
We know everybody in Vegas. There is no limit. No limit.
She's got a concussion, Andy. Thank you.
Cam can get you a free.
right, guys.
Cam can get you a
See you,
free
girly
room
girl.
at the Luxor. Okay.
See you, girly girl. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
See
Bye.
you later.
Oh, hi, Derek.
Oh, hi, Derek.
Oh, hi,
Hey
Derek.
guys, how's it going?
Wow, there he
Wow.
is.
That was the best intro we've ever had.
Okay, now let's talk about this. It is the best intro. Did you wheel her?
Yeah,
Did
how'd
she
you wheel that?
You?
How'd you wheel
break
that?
that down?
Oh, I definitely wheeled her. She was at the bar at McMullen's in the East Coast. We used to go there after games for $5 meals after the games. You know, you're on a budget back then, and she just happened to be in this little Irish pub that we ate at after games.
That was awesome, man. We love getting Derek England on. He was
dude.
fun, man. Anybody who
Handsome
comes
bugger.
on here, it's like Brett Hall, guys like him who come on here with the right attitude. They just want to
The
have
right
fun,
attitude.
man.
Yeah, we
They're
just
ready
chill.
to shoot the shit.
Yeah, dude. That's what we do. We're going to pump you up.
That's right.
That's what we do.
Trevor Zegras, he found that out very, very
Oh,
quickly.
God. His daddy loved it, too.
Gary,
Hi, Gary.
his cell phone, listen, he calls us and it pops up. It says Gary Zegras. Like, this guy's in the show,
We're like,
and he's
"Hi,
still under
Gary."
his dad's cell phone plan.
Gary, what's up? And then Gary got a hold of us, too.
Oh,
He
yeah,
loved
social
it, man.
media.
Well, you got a good kid, dude.
got a great kid.
You did good. You did good.
And
You
since
your
we
wife-
had Zegras on, I don't know if it has anything to do with our podcast or not, Cam. You can tell me, but ever since he came on, like,
He's lighting it up,
he
baby.
absolutely just blew up in the
Good kid.
NHL.
Good kid.
Yeah.
He's a good kid.
Awesome
He's down,
interview, man.
He's
We were
got a
happy
good
we
life.
got him on and kind of introduced him to the podcast world, really,
Yeah.
in terms of his unbelievable personality.
Down to earth and cool.
Yeah. Trevor Zegras, before the Michigan Pass, he joined us right here on the Cam Strick Podcast. What about, like, have you had that moment on the ice, like an NHL game? I know you probably haven't played against Kane yet, right? But, like, you've met him back in the day.
McDavid
but,
was
like,
pretty good.
Okay, so does anybody
Never heard of him.
Does anybody say anything to you on the ice? Like, I mean, hey, what's up, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Have you had, like, anything like that happen?
You know, O'Reilly at the end of the year last year, it was pretty cool. We ended up playing what they call him, the Factor or something, and I lined up for a draw against them. And this was the end of the year, so we were kind of out of playoffs, and I think they were still. I think they ended up making playoffs or whatever.
Yeah.
But I lined up against a draw, and I bet him $100 on the faceoff. This was opening draw, and he didn't say anything back. He kind of just like snarled at me and like kind of got it dialed in for the draw. And I ended up like whacking it back or whatever. I mean, I didn't really hear anything from after the game, and I'm sitting at dinner and a notification pops up on my phone from Venmo, like $100 from Ryan. And I was like, who's Ryan? And I looked, Ryan O'Reilly Venmo me $100 after the game. It was pretty cool. So I ended up shooting the shit with him the next game, and he gave me a stick, and that was just something I remember from my first year. That was pretty cool.
It's one of the best stories I've
fucking
ever heard.
badass.
I mean, first off, he got your Venmo and everything, but wait a minute.
Yeah, it
So,
was
like,
pretty cool.
you're lining up at the face-off dot against Ryan O'Reilly, and you're like, hey, I'll bet you $100 I win this draw. Is that really how it goes down?
Yeah, so I went down, I leaned in, I was like $100 first draw, or it was like $100 on the draw. And he didn't say anything to me. He kind of just looked a little angry, and I ended up squeaking it back from him. And he shot me a Venmo for $100 after the game. Was pretty cool moment.
He's the
He's a good
best,
fucking
man.
human
He
being.
He's the
is
best. He is the best.
Cool kid.
Yeah, he's the best.
And
yeah.
it's something he would do. Like, he is, you talk about dialed in, like, he's so intense during the games and whatever. Like,
Oh my God, yeah! And whenever you're out there for, you get the puck and you're going, you can literally hear him coming up the ice. He just works so hard out there. He's so hard to play against, man. So that was definitely a pretty cool story.
Well, remember that, dude. When you get older, and some young kid fucking does that to you, you better Venmo that mug. And just remember that kind of shit, man. Be cool like that, dude. Like, see how these older cats are with young kids, man. Just like be that cool cat, you know?
Yeah,
some guys are better than others, but just remember that shit.
Yeah. And O'Reilly, he was 18 in the league back in the day, too.
Badass,
like, and guys like,
dude,
all the older guys loved him, too, back in the day.
You know what else he does, dude? Like, he does, like, charity shit in town, and no one even knows. He just does it. You know, he doesn't ask for attention. He doesn't do anything. He's just fucking cool, man. So I'm glad that you realize that.
Hey, you laughed when we brought up high notes, so I know you got a high note story. I mean, give us one.
Danny.
Danny High Note. I mean, he was. I think he started kind of just coming up to our U.S. program team. Like, he would just come up for a couple weeks and like be like a player development kind of guy, like work on skills and stuff. and the D are shooting pucks from the point. He's like selling out, trying to block them. And the D were mortified, like trying to shoot the puck around this guy. I mean, he's sliding on one knee. I was like, guys are looking around like, what's this guy doing? But that was Danny, like one of the greatest coaches I've had for sure.
Yeah, he's so smart, guy. Smart hockey player, knows his shit. Will block shots with his fucking face.
Dude, it was insane. We're like watching him do it. We're like dying laughing on the bench. We're like, what is this guy doing? But no, he was the life of the team, dude. Our second year it was awesome.
You tied with with Jamie Drysdale. I mean, he was like kind of like the Canadian version of you, even though he plays defense and you're forward. But like, he was a big phenom coming into Anaheim at the same time. Are you guys automatically connected? Like, what's that relationship like?
Yeah. So first time I ever met Jamie was after the World Juniors. The Ducks and the Kings kind of got us like a private like little charter to Anaheim because of the whole COVID situation. Mm-hmm. The first time I met him was on the plane headed back to Anaheim after the gold medal game. And
you just beat him.
It was me, Arthur Kaliev, Alex Turcotte were sitting together, and then it was Byfield and Drysdale sat next to each other, and they didn't say a word the whole time, the whole flight back, which was a little awkward at first. So I didn't know how he was going to be after the game, but once we kind of got back to Anaheim, he was kind of obviously opened up. We started hanging out, and we ended up living together last year. And I mean, he's just an unbelievable player in terms of the way he can kind of skate and make plays out there. So it's definitely cool kind of coming up on this team with him.
I mean, you guys are all on the same plane. Like, so you got Byfield and Drysdale, and then you and Kaliev. Are you guys just like celebrating and loud and whatever? Or are you just like, or was it uncomfortable? You know, like what was that?
No,
like?
we were buzzing on the flight back. We had like a little party at the hotel, kind of with all the guys with the trophy and the staff. And then we kind of had a flight. It was at like 4 a.m, so we kind of just stayed up and ended up just hopping right on the plane and hopping back. So they kind of came and. I mean, they definitely didn't want any part of talking to us, but we were kind of just chirping the whole way back, which was pretty funny for us. But
oh my god,
they were not having it.
Do you know all those guys from like growing up playing against them? Like, I mean, like when you get like when you grow up through the USA system and you're playing U17s, U18s, all these international tournaments. Like when you get to the U20s, like do you know all these guys like from all these other countries or what?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, for the most part, I mean, you know the guys in your birth year for sure. But, I mean, when you get to some of these U20s, you'll find like a kid on Russia who's like an 04 who's just disgusting. He's 3 years younger than you. And there's a couple guys like that. But for the most part, you kind of have a good feel for who's out there and who you're playing against. But that's why it's so much fun, right?
That Kaliev, man, I've seen him play 3 games already this year. Like, he scored a goal last night, too. Like, that guy's got an unbelievable shot. Like, the way he shoots the puck.
Unbelievable, dude.
What's his story?
Dude, he played from Fairfield, too. Like, but he always played the year above me, so he played 2000 as an 01
oh, really?
For whatever reason. Yeah. And then we ended up playing a couple summer hockey tournaments together. And, I mean, he's just always been that way, like, kind of like a on the wing, give it to him, and the next thing you know, it's under the bar, and you're just like, how does that work? But I mean, you could just see he scored last night from like the top of the circle, like literally just went bar down.
I know, but listen,
from nothing, like a nothing play.
So where I'm set up though, like during games, like I'm right on the glass, and he gets so mad when he doesn't shoot. Like, is that his personality? Like, I'm watching him. Like, if he hit the crossbar a couple times. I know he was frustrated, whatever. But the Kings got shut out in the game here in St. Louis, and he had, like, I can't tell you how many shot attempts he had in that game. And every time he'd shoot and the puck wouldn't go in, he would look so angry. Like, does he get mad at him? I need to know what's going on here with Kaliev. Because he's got these crazy facial expressions.
He's crazy. Well, there's actually a funny story about Kaliev. You'd think, like, goal scorers, right, like, are pretty crazy about, like, the stick they use. And we were in World Juniors, and for whatever reason, he had a different curve than what I was using. And we're 3 games into the tournament, and we're on the same line. And I don't think he had scored yet. And, like, middle of the game versus I don't even know who we were playing. I think we were up big on somebody. And he just switches to my stick, like, middle of the game, scores, like, 2 goals. And then ever since then, just been using my stick with my name bar.
Even to this
middle
day.
of the tournament. Yeah, I mean, even to this day, I think he scored his first goal using my stick from World Juniors, which was pretty funny. I think he still has the stick, but he just shoots the puck from everywhere, wherever he is, and it seems to go in, and it seems to be working for him.
Hey, what's up, everybody? That interview was brought to you by Daredevil Hockey and DaredevilHockey.com. Use that promo code today, Cam and Strick. It's going to save you 25%. All caps, Cam and Strick, Daredevil Hockey. Get yourself protected today. All right, that was the best of here on the Cam Strick Podcast presented by Hair Club. Cam and I were saying beforehand in the intro, like, should we be doing another best of whatever? And then you see that guest list, and you're like, yes, we should. That's the answer. Yes, we should. Incredible stories, dude.
Yeah, I know. And I was thinking because we had a couple in the bank right now that we're gonna surprise you guys with coming up here. Of course, we get a great guest, but then we went through the list, and I'm like, oh my God, there's so many stories, and a lot of people are new. Like, we get new people every day, so we're like, here you go, just check this out, and then we'll regroup, and then we got a bunch of cool cats coming up.
You know, like a couple of guests that we've had on that where the reaction, the response from people was like completely different. It was like, wow, I listened to that episode, and it really helped me.
Yeah,
I'm dealing with some personal issues, and like the ones that come to mind. I mean, there was Sheldon Souray and Kevin Stevens. But this one with Brantt Myhres,
I was going to say,
was
I gotta give him a
just unbelievable, and like, you know, not like a household name to a lot of people. Most people probably have heard of Brantt Myhres. Obviously, he was a tough guy in the league and whatever. But for him to come out and tell his story, has a great book that's out. That got a ton of reaction, man.
Yeah, Painkiller's called.
Yeah,
dude, and he's a great guy. I knew he was a great guy when he was playing. When I played against him during the lockout, I remember my buddy Rob Skurlock's like, dude, great dude. They're buddies. Just Canadian, cool, tough dudes, man, that both had some, went through some shit.
He's giving his opinion about all this lockdown stuff, too, all the time.
And so is Mike Commodore.
Oh, my God. And Carlo.
And who? Avery. And, like, of course, Dio always, all of our guests, Dio, Fleury, they're going crazy up there, man.
Well, people don't like to be told what they can and cannot do.
Dude, I know.
That stuff doesn't fly here in the States, man. It really does.
You can't. I know. There's some hardcore cats on. They don't want to hear it. No. They're like, no, we're independent. We could do our own thing. We can make our decisions. Yeah. We have children. Yeah. We're looking after our children. But it's for the greater. Well, is it? Is everything? What are we doing? It's not work. Anyway, all right. Don't get me started on it again. We love all y'all. It is what it is.
Brantt Myhres, great interview. And really brought the heat, man. And we appreciated him for coming on and helped a lot of people along the way, too. So, great dude. If you haven't checked out that book, check it out, Painkillers. And like you said, we've got some other great guests coming up. But Brian Sutter, icon here in St. Louis. Doug Gilmour, icon in Toronto. Like, we just kind of hit all the bases, and we will do that for you once again coming up in 2022. So, we appreciate all the support we're getting from everybody. Any businesses out there that want to partner with us?
No doubt.
I mean, hit us up. Come on board. We're always looking for more partners and businesses we can help promote and further brand, what you have going on. So, and that's Canada too, man. Anywhere in the world.
Yep, absolutely.
So, as always, the Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by Hair Club, hairclub.com. Hair Club for men and women.
And the women folk.
When people come up to you, Cam, because like, I'll tell you how I answer when people come up to me, red lights and whatever. When they come up and they say, hey, tell me about Hair Club, like what do you say? You got like 60 seconds. So go now.
Well, I'd say, hey, look, it's easy to sign up. You walk in there. There's no one looking at you. You're not like, don't be uncomfortable. And also once you start talking to somebody that knows what the hell they're talking about, a real professional, they're going to be like, here's what we could do. Because you know that's in the back of your head. It's always in the back of your head. Every time you go anywhere, you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, God, it's falling out in the sink. I get it. I get the game. Stress doesn't help that at all. It hurts it. You know, you're stressed out at work. But if you go get that done, you're going to see your hair grow back. It's an unbelievable feeling. It's just a gradual growth, and it's great. And I'd be baller than a doorknob if I didn't go to Hans Lyman a couple of years ago.
800-279-7878. Again, hairclub.com/Cam Strick. Go to our landing page. You'll get $250 off your first appointment.
Absolutely.
So that's a pretty good deal.
Yep.
Do I sound really nasal? Because I'm getting a cold.
Don't get distracted.
I'm getting a little bit of a cold right now. Are you?
Then get the F away
No,
from
it's
me.
not. It's not COVID.
Yeah. You're not around.
You can be sick, non-COVID, but I'm not even sick.
No, you can.
You can be.
Yeah.
Like, for example.
Yeah, but that's what, if you say you're sick with anybody, man.
One of our former guests, we had to reschedule something for this week that I was going to do on television because he's ill, non-COVID.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So mine is just like that. Are you noticing it? Yes or no?
No, you.
Okay.
You sound. Just go. Jesus.
Car Shield and carshield.com. Cam, what's the phone number to Car Shield?
God. But if you go on carshield.com, you can look at that mug. Why would I know that?
800-857-2481. 800-857-2481. Carshield.com. Go there today. Promo code, you remember what that is?
It's CAM.
Is your real name Cameron?
Cameron Wesley Jansen.
How come you don't go by that?
Shit kicking, dude.
Why don't you go by Cameron?
I do whenever I was talking to broads back in the day. I'd be
Did you?
my name's Cameron. Because it sounds sophisticated. James Cameron was kicking ass back, like doing Terminator and stuff like that. And then he did like Titanic and so I'm like, Cameron's cool name, blah, blah, blah. And so I would go to girls and say, hey, my name's Cameron, because I sound more sophisticated. And they'd be like, oh, you want to make out? I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
So next episode, we'll have a big announcement, by the way, that we'll be announcing. That's something that is going to be available here locally, and hopefully we'll be able to get to, some of the product to you that are out of the, not located here in St. Louis.
Yes.
CarShield, carshield.com. Use the promo code CAM. Again, you'll save 10%. Daredevil Hockey. Again, last night, Cam, when you blow the whistle, when you're on the ice with little kids, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, you blow the whistle. When they come in to the coach, like to hear what the next drill is going to be.
Yes.
They slide in with their skates up, dude. And we're trying to get a hold of that.
They're going to get you right in your Achilles.
Trying to get a hold of that. Well, that's why you wear the Daredevil Hockey. This is another reason why it's so important, especially when you have little kids out on the ice, because they don't recognize all the safety measures. Like, they're not there yet. Like, they're learning that, too. Kids can get cut at any time, man. And the last thing you want is for your son or daughter to go play the game and all of a sudden have to end up in the emergency room with a serious, nasty skate laceration.
No, you don't want that. And it could happen. It can. It's a reality of playing hockey.
It happens all the time. That's why you wear your Daredevil Hockey gear.
Damn right.
Just to prevent that. It's got the fabric, what's
Kevlar.
Kevlar overlays.
You are sick, aren't you? You look shitty.
Use that promo code Cam and Strick, all caps. You're going to save 25%. Of course, Bellman.com. Go see our boy Danny Bellman over there in Troy, Missouri. BEHLMANN.com. Cam, real quick.
I ain't playing
at Bellman, you have no what?
Well, no swinging dicks.
That's right. Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, baby.
Just taking advantage of you. Your wife can't go there because she's creeped out. It ain't happening.
Other side of the street, the Buick, the GMC.
But I want that shit kicker, Danny boy. I ain't playing no mouth.
Too.
I'll come out there. Don't make me come out there. I'm telling him, right? I'm telling him I want it.
It's an easy trip to get to.
I know.
We should just make a trip out there anyway.
I know. I just want to snoop around a little bit.
See what they have.
He's got drink his coffee. I know there's like that. He always got food in one area.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
they take care of the people over there.
Hey, check out their reviews on the BBB.org, man. For Bellman.
Yeah.
They're getting 5 stars, baby.
Right in the front, it says no swinging dicks.
That's what the Better Business Bureau.
That's their banner.
Oh, my God. Go somewhere you can trust. They turn to the BBB every day looking for businesses they can trust. So far, or through 2021, Cam, guess how many consumers they've serviced?
How many?
Over 13 million.
Dang, boy.
I know. That's like a crazy number.
It's cray-cray.
Over 13 million. So when consumers see the BBB accredited business seal, it tells them that this is a business they can trust. Over 9,000 area businesses are BBB accredited businesses.
Yeah, you just don't want to, why not go through that to see what the fuck
That's a huge number,
it is
too.
what it is.
They got the stats to back it up. I'll say that about the BBB. Chris and Natasha, too, who we talked to. They're awesome.
Oh.
Happy New Year to them.
Yeah. What's going on, you two?
Say hi to Chris and Natasha.
Yeah. Hi, Chris. Hi, Natasha. How you doing? Natasha's a fan.
She is.
Yeah.
She is.
Damn right.
645-3300. That's the phone number. 314-645-3300. Or go to bbb.org. All right. This has been part 2.
Yeah.
And we've got new interviews coming next week. Every Tuesday, of course, tell your friends. That's when we drop the newest episode of the Cam Strick Podcast. Again, go to camandstrick.com. Any episode that you've heard from our best of, and you're like, man, I want to listen to that entire interview, go to camandstrick.com. We'll have it all there for you. And lots of other good stuff, man. It's going to be a great year, Cam, coming up in 2022.
Working hard this year.
Happy New Year to you, to Brody, to everybody, man. This is part 2 of our best of. We get back on track next Tuesday. Thanks, everybody.